Cat, and Minecraft just brought out the spear as part of the Mounts of Mayhem drop previews, and I figured to truly test the weapon, rather than just using it here or there, I figured I would need to give it a full test, and so I'm loading up this latest preview, and I'm going to beat Minecraft exclusively using this brand new weapon. That means I can use it in any of the tiers available: wood, stone, copper, gold, diamond, netherite, or iron if I want to. And yeah, it means that as a result, I'm going to be very limited in how much I can attack, but in exchange, I'll be able to attack from further and theoretically deal more damage. So yeah, I'll be still creating other tools, of course, such as pickaxes, but these will be in service of my spears and in service of my beating Minecraft goals. So with that said, let's go ahead and make ourselves our first weapon. Because what if a mob spawns right here, right now? I am playing on an entirely random seed. I have a lot of fear. Actually, no, because it's the preview. You can see what my seed is up there. It's 202860. But like, anyway, the point here is that we're playing on a seed that I have not seen until just now, and it's going to be a lot of fun because this one looks like it's going to be a bit of a struggle. I just know the moment I load up a seed and I see this, it's like, well, this isn't going anywhere fun anytime soon. But I hope I'm wrong. I also hope that I can... Okay, let's use the charge attack on the spear here. Okay, let's go. And let's show you the power of it. In just a few tiny hits, I can kill this pig. Okay, it's taken one charge attack. And now, oh, 5 regular attacks. But I've killed my first enemy. And you can see where the problem starts to maybe lie with this. But yeah, we're going to go over there because it's stone. Or... Okay, we can't go back that way. We can't reasonably go that way. So that way followed by that way looks like our best bet. Maybe over there too, but I don't see anything yet. So let's head down, let's get some stone, and let's see what we do. So what does this even mean, says Ugus? Great question. The spear is a brand new long-range weapon that is deliberately put in place to make combat a bit more interesting. That's because you can attack enemies from further away using this, as you can see right here, allowing me to theoretically avoid some of the worst parts of Bedrock combat. Now, this is a really good benefit in theory, but in practice there are, you know, some downsides worth discussing, and so that we'll probably find out today. But yeah. Also, 5 hits and a charge. That's a scary tool to depend on. Yeah, it seems like it's mostly a defensive get things away from me tool. And in that vein, it's pretty successful. Because as a wooden tool, you can see right here, it's pretty fast to poke. I think I'm still not 100% sure. But a lot of people have been suspecting that the delay on each of these the delay between using a spear and the next one actually is slightly different. It's something that I maybe misunderstood when I did my testing. Still have to do some more testing to confirm if that's true, or if people who think that that's wrong are misunderstood. But it's yeah, it's something that I am looking forward to looking into. But for now, let's make ourselves a pickaxe, and then we'll make ourselves a stone axe and a stone pickaxe, and then move on with our day. By the way, can you do crits of this? Great question. The answer seems to be no, right? Am I crazy for thinking that? So I'm going to make a stone pickaxe and a stone axe. And then we're going to get enough stone. Actually, we'll just go straight to copper, right? We'll just make a copper one. Or maybe even an iron one too. But this will allow me to get some good stuff smelted. I think a copper spear is a good place to start. It's objectively not, because it's... The copper spear is just a stone spear, but worse on Java. If cooldown is different on Bedrock, that would be true here too. But we'll see what we can do. Okay, let's chop down a few more trees. As you can see, very, very long wood. And then let's go poke in some zombies. Oh, coal. It's not often you find coal underwater, but when you do, you should be grateful. Woo, time to get lunch free and break it in one stack. Yeah, I do not know what Mojang are thinking with lunch free. With a lot of things, it's like, oh, I get that. Yeah, they're going, like, it's clear what the vision is sometimes. But with lunch, it really is not. And I like to believe that's because they've got a fun idea that they're going to work with and playtest. But, yeah, I think it's something that is tricky, to say the least. By the way, a lack of crits is sad. I feel like a speedy jump should at least do a bit more than just speed. Are there no criticals at all? Okay, so here's a guy. I guess he's underwater, so it's not going to be effective. So let's instead mine some of these blocks. So I've got some torches. By the way, I'm definitely going to make copper torches because I think they are still super cool. So let's just make ourselves a... Okay, put this up there, put that up there. And then let's make ourselves, for the first time, that's right, a copper spear. Oh yeah, this is a whopping 2 attack damage, chat. But, you know, that's not the entire story necessarily. Also, how do we make a... Oh, we have to use this to make a copper torch, right? So we go sticks, coal, and then copper. It's not copper ingots. It's copper nuggets, right? It's even cheaper than I'm emotionally imagining it to be. So now we make some copper torches, we get some nice lighting, and let's see how easy it is to kill a zombie and a creeper. So just to confirm, I didn't see a critical hit there. Yeah, this weapon is incapable of getting criticals, presumably to balance out for the fact that it has longer range. Like, look at this. I can keep these zombies away from me at such a decent distance. And also, you can see it's a really satisfying noise, too. Oh, actually, let's do that test on the... So let's see if I got this wrong now. I'm fully willing to admit when I have. This is the wooden speed. Oh, yeah, the cooldown is slightly different. Oh, yeah. Maybe? The animation looks slightly slower, at least. I can't be sure if the cooldown in the hotbar is different. Maybe. I think it'd be clearer with Neverite. That might actually be true. By the way, Chantal says, Midler for Longboy. Great point, Chantal says that in Sony. Yeah, the fact that this... I do think it's very goofy if this has no critical hits. 100%. So let's put on the chest plate. Let's maybe wait for some boots or something. And then let's move on with our day, because that's all I can wait for. I do have a nighttime to be preparing for, so let's throw this in there. And, I don't know, like a wooden pickaxe in for the rest. And just that'll make sure that we survive, if nothing else. So yeah, isn't it beautiful, chat? Isn't my tool something wonderful? Like, at the start of this year, you would have never believed that this was something that Minecraft were working on. But by the end of this year, it will be publicly available. Which is nuts, right? Also, Woo, YT is an incremental game now. Oh yeah, I think that like 5 years ago was a really good time to invest in like grindy style systems or whatever. I think that was a genius time to do it. I think if you do it now, like YouTube is, it's like you look like you're trying to manipulate people. And I don't think that they've like nailed the content. I think that... Okay, I think one of the most important things about XP that makes it work in video games is it needs to be persistent. You need to feel like you've done something now, not just for right now, but for the future. This is why XP in Minecraft is, you know, at least slightly functional. And it's one of the most crucial elements that for some reason is just missed by so many... Like, I had this idea forever ago. It was when I was first... I'm sure I shared it in a Let's Play. I think there should be a hoover that gives you XP for each piece of, like, you know, junk hoovered up. And then it should somehow encourage you. I should not be down here. This is going to go badly for me. I'm just going to get out of here. You know, I regret coming down here. And I probably am going to have some issues. Okay, up we go. Up we go. Yeah. I got myself out of a situation that was entirely my own making. So, if I want to kill a pig now with a copper spear, keep in mind I'll be going for criticals, but not actually succeeding, according to the game itself. 3 hits, 4 hits to kill a pig. So not the worst thing in the world. But certainly a copper sword would be more effective. Also, the damage is ridiculously low for no crits. Even on Bedrock, where the wooden spear deals twice as much damage as on Java. Yeah, that's a funny... I'm glad you bring up the fact that the wooden spear does more damage on Bedrock than Java. It says it does 1 damage, but that's because Bedrock lies to you about how much damage weapons do. I thought they fixed this forever ago, and so I, like, mentally erased it from my brain. But if you want to calculate how much damage you're actually doing, take the damage of your weapon and add 1. So this does 2, and this does 3, which is weird, but it is how it is. Okay, so I'm going to mine a few more pieces of coal while I'm here anyway. Might need some torches soon. And I'm going to hope that over there's a village, or maybe a lava pit, or, you know, one of the goodies. That would be nice. If I could find some iron on the way, it'd be nice. But if I don't, there's always iron in the village, right? We'll be fine. So, this feels like it's going to be a painful stream. I'm sure there's going to be at least 1 death loop. The spear should be really good in theory at preventing that. As you could see, when there's 4 mobs, it's not. But it's really, really good at keeping enemies away from you, at least. Which is nice. So if I got 4 iron, that would be perfect. It'd be enough for a shield and something else. But instead, I will just die, I guess. No, yeah, we will head out on our way over there. I guess we'll swim across this water. And then we'll hope that from the top of the mountain, we see a lava. So is it just me that feels like the item texture for the spear is way too detailed? I think it fits in really nicely with the rest. I think you see it at an angle that makes it unique. Like, look at the pickaxe. Look at the axe. Look at this. Because you see it at a slightly twisted angle, you can see the pixels in a much more clearer way that make me think it's actually lower quality. Are there rules that you only attack mobs using the spear? I could make that a rule. You know what? Go on then. I've only attacked mobs using the spear so far, and I will continue to only attack mobs using the spear later. Which will run me into some serious problems, I'm sure. But that sounds like a future me problem, not a current me problem. Anyway, oh no, I'm sorry. It's okay, buddy. I still love you and your type. Yeah, we're just gonna run up here and hope for the best. I think hills are usually a good place to start of anything, and so we good. Also, now it fits not too detailed. Yeah, I totally agree. Also, shields are cheating. I think shields are an interesting case where they're better on Bedrock than Java when used with the spear, because you can still right-click and use them on Bedrock. Yeah, that's an interesting point, huh? Yeah, okay, so this is a big empty plains biome. Will we find anything else? I certainly hope so. So chat, today I was thinking about it, and I concluded that we need, you know, like, after seeing all the divisiveness that's, you know, going around with, you know, certain political figures, I concluded that I think what we really need in the world is a Minecraft president. We need a president of that one big country that is famous for having presidents, and we need them to be someone who plays Minecraft. I think there are, you know, I think I would step up to this role myself. You know, to help assure people that they can in fact vote for me. I'm wearing a shirt that says New York City on it, because as we all know, if there's one thing that you do when you live in a city, it's proudly put the name of that city on your chest. And so New York City, look at me, basically American already. But yeah, I was thinking about like how many areas of policy would probably be improved if we, you know, if we just said like let's use Minecraft as our guide for this one. So as an easy example, security in Minecraft, rather than having a policy of like, yeah, when things get bad, maybe we'll send someone to come get you. How about instead we get some big, you know, iron clankers and get them to patrol the streets all the time. And that way, if there's a... And also, crucially, rather than having to, like, cool up, you could just, like, yell real loud and the guy would know exactly where you're gonna go. Also, use OnlyUseMeSpear. OnlyUseMeSpear, that's for sure. Also, I think I punched that dog, therefore the challenge has failed. Sorry, it's GG now. It's GG. Yeah, there is an argument that you could use exclusively the spear, but you'd find it really hard to break blocks, which maybe is what makes it such a fun challenge if we want to do something for after the spear actually releases. So all we found so far, okay, we found a village, we found a ruined portal. Between those two things, I think we'll find lava, and we'll certainly find a bed and everything else we need. So we're in a good situation if we can make it down in one piece. So yeah, as far as you know, I think the food policy of, rather than right now where, you know, people feel like food is this, you know, like this price gouging sort of thing. There should be free bread on every street. Like, bread is one of those things that's so absurdly cheap to produce. And knowing that you could get the free bread, it would cost, like, nothing. You know, if we just literally put it on the road, a giant pile of bread that people could take when they wanted to, then, you know, people would feel like, wow, I am getting this huge benefit of knowing I never need to starve. And food would go from feeling like a necessity to a luxury, which is great, right? Next idea. Very good, I know. But I think that I think one of the other policies we could easily take from Minecraft is we could say, well, you know, healthcare. The way it works right now, it's kind of a mess, right? Like, even if you really, really like, you know, insurance-based healthcare systems, you've got to say, like, well, it kind of leads to insurance price gouging because the insurance has to pay, or the hospital can price gouge the insurance because the insurance has to pay whatever they ask for because you need to get sick. So the insurance can then ask for anything from you to make sure that they make that. It's a bad system for everyone, right? So what is the solution? I propose that healthcare, you know, like, I propose that if you are sick, you can get cured for free, but in exchange to pay the doctor for his services, you have to give him discounted trades for the rest of your life. There we go. That's my platform. I will be running on it as your new president 2020. Actually, I think I'm going to be old enough to be a... I used to think like 35 was impossibly old. I think give me a couple presidential cycles and I'll be good. This guy talks about anything but Minecraft. I'm specifically talking about Minecraft right now. Did you miss the analogy, Ugus, when I said that we should cure you and then you give people discounted items for the rest of your life? That was clearly Minecraft I was talking about. This is what happens when you cure a villager, and I'm sorry that you don't play enough Minecraft to understand that that's how that works. But I would like to point out that your ignorance to reality does not change what reality is. Or rather, maybe you should watch more Minecraft videos so that you understand how these mechanics work. By the way, punching this cow is absolute pain. This is the worst process ever. Also, it's nighttime. Let's go to bed. Oh yeah, that was messy. Yeah, I think I just got hit. Why is he mad? Toy Cat, do you do any drugs? I have very, very, very minor amounts of caffeine sometimes. And I went to a pub on Monday. So, you know, yes. I mean, I take Imodium like, you know, a couple times a month. It used to be like a couple times a week, so it's good progress, my digestive system, that it's a couple times a month now instead. And there's the answer to your question. I'm sure it is exactly what you were looking for, and I'm glad to have provided it for you. Okay, so chat, my prayers for a ability to go to the Nether have not been answered, but we have now found a golem, which means I'm gonna have to have, or we found a village that should have a golem, which means we're gonna have a really fun time. Just you trust me. Props for acknowledging that caffeine and alcohol are a drug. Yeah, I think a lot of people do arbitrarily draw the line at drugs I agree with and drugs I disagree with. And I think there's a little bit of an element of like, some drugs are a recreational activity instead of doing productive things. And some drugs you use as a respite from or as a, you know, addition to product. Also, wait, do you think I can kill the golem using the spear without being attacked myself? Oh, chat, this is a game changer. Usually if you try this, you are going to get absolutely, you know, murked. But as you can see... Oh, also, you can attack twice as often. You can attack more often than you should be able to. Than the cooldown suggests that you should. Do you hear that? Every now and then I'm attacking a second time. Oh, no, I'm dead, chat. Okay, he got me onto the house. I guess we'll attack from down here. So, the spear is also pretty good for being able to attack from a height angle you might not otherwise do from. Yeah, like from up here, you would never expect to be able to attack the golem. But here we are, doing it fine. Yeah, that's now enough for a bucket. And not much else. Also, technically, I should make the trade here, so I will. But I'm not happy about it. Yeah, yo, no more 4-block strat. Yeah, I think most people are still going to do old strategies, but I like that it's not mandatory. But I mean, nothing is ever mandatory in Minecraft. Which is what makes new features, when they're added well, so good, right? Also, I think I see some stone over there, right? That's definitely stone, chat. I think that means I found some lava this early on. Yay! We can go to the Nether, chat. We can go to the Nether. So let's throw down my furnace. Let's put in raw beef and leaf litter. And then we're going to work on getting some water to do the rest of our stuff. I'll make a crafting table next to this. And then I'll make a bucket and a shield. Again, a shield is totally fine. It's not a weapon. And so something cool you can do only on Bedrock is you can use your shield and the spear at the same time. As you can see, it's a really long delay on coming back to the shield, but it's still there nonetheless. Do you think Minecraft's starting inventory has been changed for the better or the worse? It says Ugus. Oh no, it's Ugus doesn't know what Minecraft is. There's no starting inventory. You're playing the wrong game, I think. Minecraft is the one that looks like this, where you have skins and you have different results. You've got to go to the Nether. I think you might be playing a knockoff Minecraft. Never forget when my friends took Adderall and I took it with them while they were tripping, and I was just able to watch TV without fidgeting, and that's how I found out I had ADHD. I had a friend in... I don't know if I've ever told this story, or if I'm legally allowed to. I had a friend who had clearly whatever the heck ADHD is called. Whatever ADHD was then. And so, yeah, similar thing. Similar thing, except I guess this is how I know I don't have ADHD, clearly. Instead of feeling entirely chilled and being able to watch TV without distractions, I think I had a series of panic attacks and then stayed up until 9 a.m. the next. It probably wasn't 9 a.m. I remember feeling like I could probably sleep just about the time my alarm went off. Like, you know, you have that feeling where you check your clock in the middle of the night and you're like, oh no, it's 4 a.m. and I'm waking up at 9. That means I'll only get 5 hours of sleep. I remember having that feeling, and it was like 7:16, and my alarm was going off in 14 minutes. And I was like, if I just get some sleep soon, it'll be 14 minutes of sleep, but that's better than none at this point, damn it. I take drugs a lot, sadly. Yeah, I think it's a normal part of the... Well, I do think there's a valid movement to say don't take any drugs at any time. Like the kind of... what movement is that called? Like, I don't know, like naturalist movement. But I think in general, the lives of all human beings have been improved by all things that exist. Okay, so... Yeah, I think... I do think there's a... Also, you are cheating, buddy. You used a pickaxe. Is that a spear? Oh no, I clarified the rules at the beginning, but people are joining, which I will take as a positive. Welcome to the live stream if you've just come in here right now. If you have, you might be pleased to understand the rules of the challenge. And would you like me to explain them to you? It sounds an awful lot like you would. So, for anyone who has just joined and would benefit from hearing something like this. Okay, so we're going to have to wait and not get murdered by that guy. Should I cook up the copper, or is it just not worth it? It's such a good sound, by the way. Genuinely, it feels so good when you hit something with this. That has to be... You have to give some credit to that. Okay, so I've got enough of these to make iron, and I've got enough sticks to make that into an iron spear. And I think that I think it's important to just switch this out. I don't think I'm ever going to want to go back to the wooden spear, except for poking things away. But I'll keep it there anyway. So, okay, wooden spear... Iron spear. Oh yeah, the animation is slower. And I was crazy not to notice it. Or am I crazy for thinking I notice it now, chat? Is it just the animation that's slower? I'd have to like time it in frames. Okay, we got cooldowns on Bedrock now. Specific to this one weapon and nowhere else, yes. Okay, so cooked beef? Yes. I've got water? Yes. Let's now use that water to get some things going. Definitely not a choice, by the way, just keep me alive and functioning. See, I mean, actually, first of all, I would make the point, Polly, that is a choice. It's a choice I'm glad you're making. But technically, continuing to be alive is a choice. It's an important distinction that I feel like we should make before going any further. So I want to place blocks off the side there. So we're going to have to, like, okay, there we go. Can I place it yet? No, I cannot. I can see where I want to place this block, chat, but it just won't let me. So instead, we'll just dig in down here, maybe. And things will go a bit better for me. So down, forwards, down. It definitely should be around here somewhere, chat. Am I in the wrong spot? Did I imagine that there was lava just ahead of me? The game is acting like I did. Okay, so now dirt block there, water there. Remove this. Wait, that's not supposed to happen. And there we go. Nice. Also, the 3D model of the spear has a weird layering issue. What is the weird layering issue, in your opinion, with the 3D modeling of the spear? Man, we need different variants of sticks. Imagine different handles on your tools.
Toy cat tax, haha, liking the spear stream.
Thank you, Josh Jones, for the $20 tip. I am very pleased to see you here. I hope that you are having a wonderful Thursday. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into the... Again, I kind of took like a week half away from YouTube. You know, to deal with some family stuff. And, yeah, it's always... Oh, no, there's no lava here, chat. Which is going to really mess me up. All I have to do, though, is put that there, and we're sorted. Then we also have to put some lava blocks down here. And then we also have to, like, put that in there, so we can move that there. And it's going to be a lot of work to make a portal here. I should have 100% have not done it this way. But I'm sticking with my poor decisions, and oh dear God, I'm going to get murdered by a zombie. Hey, speaking of murdered by a zombie! Isabel, Toy Cat Tax. Remember the title says only a spear, not only spears? So you're allowed to use one for the entire run. Honestly, that would be kind of interesting as a challenge, because you'd have to go straight to diamond, right? And then you could arguably upgrade the tool, or get it enchanted later. Honestly, I think that is a fun idea. But you're right, I will make sure the title says only... Can I beat Minecraft using only spears? Only Spears does sound a little bit like Britney Spears has started a paper month website, but I will say that despite that, we're probably going to do just fine. I'm going to see if the Iron Spear is now better at killing cows, by the way. So this is 3 hits to KO now, but that's now like decent. An Iron Spear kills a cow in about the same number of hits as a wooden axe. But you know, there's not much of a but there, actually. It's just kind of, yeah, it's not that good, is it? Okay, so we need to put a thing here. So we'll put the water over here. And solved. And we have to do the same over here. So I'll put the water back there, and then quickly there. Okay, there's another zombie coming, chat. I'm going to be very, very cautious. And then we'll finish with a... Oh, no, that's lava, not water. Then we'll finish with... Oh, no. It's going to burn me, chat. It's going to burn me. Oh, no. Oh, dear God. Is it going to get me? It's not going to get me. I'm fine. So I put the water in this corner here, and it's still there. You'll be pleased to know. So let's just put the water here. And then... Oh, no. I need that water. Oh, no. Okay. I've got to... Oh, chat. Oh, no. So I am going to die. That's the bad news. The good news is that all my stuff will be fine, and I'll sleep in a bed first. Okay, I don't need to. We're fine. Woo! So I did, again, in panic, I attacked the mob using whatever was in my hand. But such is life, I guess. Well, you, okay, no, what is, okay, so this water is now spilled everywhere. But I'm really just trying to get it onto the lava that I placed. It's very... Okay, over there. And now we just need to put lava on top of this, which should be nice and easy peasy. It's very, very scary having to defend yourself with a spear. It's technically functional, but it doesn't feel that way, chat. Oh, no. Oh, charging is... Oh, okay, charging is not a very good attack at all. I am desperately going to have to kill this cow just so that I can use the furnace. Okay, no. Bad time to be alive. Get myself out of here. Just sleep in the bed. Move on in my life. That'll be the plan. World record pace. Yes, exactly. World record pace. No, I like taking Minecraft easy. I know that's a weird thing, because I like doing so many weird challenges that make Minecraft not easy. But I like that Minecraft is a chill game. You know, there's a certain level at which it is a chill game, I guess is what I'm saying. I like playing it at that level. By the way, thank you, Josh Jones, for gifting 5 memberships. I do not like VV, but even more so watching you attempt this. Okay, so yeah, I've gotta work out genuinely whether vibrant visuals is my default or not. I don't use it in Let's Plays. I do have to say. But should I be using it in other? Also, I want to keep a bed around. Do. Also, I wish it could be a viable replacement for the sword. I think they have to err on the side of making the sword definitely better. Man, this... Look, sometimes you'll be poking an enemy and it's like, nah, you are not doing that. Not today, friend. Hello, says TE. Hello, T. How are you doing? Why'd I get this notification 30 minutes into the stream? Because YouTube has an interest in not necessarily delivering all the notifications at the same time. And so it looks like you're on the negative end of this one this time. My apologies. Okay, place that there. Place that over here. Maybe remove one of these blocks so we can get some of that. And now we just have to light the portal on fire, chat. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a problem. I'll concede, because I've got to destroy so much of what's inside the portal. It's so much of a mess in here. But then we just put a couple blocks there and there. And perfect. In we go, chat. It's time to never. I mean, I've had so many good nevers recently. I kind of would be fine with a bad one. Like, look at this. It's not good. Oh, and there's a fortress there. Whoa, Minecraft coming in clutch today. Okay, so now I'm going to test something silly that genuinely you don't think... This is why I like to do these testing videos, chat. Like, I want to know if I punch a ghast fireball with my spear, will it be fired back? The answer should be yes, but this doesn't count as mining blocks, so it genuinely might not be. Well, that's not what I want to see, but it is what I see. I'm also going to dye my bed red, because I don't want to have a peasant bed on me. And I'm going to spend some time healing up. And I guess we've just got to go straight over there, right? There's nothing else we can or should aspire to do. And rightfully so. So I'm now going to light up this entire place. Just make sure that no mobs can spawn in the future. Burning enemies alive is a lot of fun. And there we go. Spear time. Spear time. Oh, no. Yeah, the spear is just not good enough for this, chat. It's not good enough. You need to... Okay, yeah, this is bad. This is bad. This is really bad. Especially when you throw in a ghast. For good measure. Okay, go. Alright, this is do or die. Is this a good enough weapon to use in the nether? This is its most dangerous place. Oh, no. Okay, so that was a missed time, you could argue. I think I could die soon. Okay, let's mine some blocks, I guess. We're going to have to spend... Chat, this is Bedrock, so the healing process is going to be... It's going to be a little while now. I'm going to have to, you know, make sure that I've got all my forms filled out for healthcare in Minecraft. And then I'm going to have to send those off. I'm going to have to, you know, make sure that I'm not going to do this joke again. But I've got to say, it's absolutely terrible the way that Bedrock healing works. And it's one of the things that makes the spear such an interestingly balanced weapon, if you ask me. Anyway, though, yeah, we're going to just light a lot of fires around here. And then, especially over there. Oh, no, I got myself lit on fire with that one. That was a poor decision. Yeah, it just... Also, that is a piglin wearing a bunch of gold. I think I would like a bunch of gold. And so I think I should kill him. Yeah, try and kill me, buddy. Try and kill me. Yeah, just keep trying. Just keep trying. Look how good this is, chat. That felt so good. I mean, like, it didn't feel good killing an innocent piglin just because I wanted his stuff. You know, don't get me wrong. There's, but otherwise, not bad. Also, Happy Ghast, spear combat on a Happy Ghast. Yeah, they kind of made a joke about that at Minecraft Live. Like, you'd be going so slow, I'm sure you would do no damage. But it is funny to imagine still anyway. Also, yeah, there are some trees over here. This is a cool nether spawn. This is a... I said I was overdue a bad nether, and then the game gave me a great nether. To remind me that if you are always whiny, if you keep your expectations tiny, you will never need to be whiny. So I'm just going to bridge across nothing right now. It's a dangerous game, but it's the one I'm choosing to play. And that's a... Okay, no, if there's a blaze looking at me, I need to make sure that he can't look at me. And then I need to just make the jump. Here we go. Let's make a base. quickly. So we have to make sure that there's no way that enemies can get up onto this. Oh, God. Okay. We so narrowly avoided dangerous things happening there. Now I'm going to build myself a little pokey hole. I have to be very, very careful to avoid all things from over there. So this is my new pokey hole, chat. Let's see what I can't poke with it. So first of all, are wither skeletons immune from lava? It's been so long. Okay, they are. Second of all, is the spear good for wither skeletons? In theory, yeah. Wither skeletons are one of those mobs that have an annoying range where they always kill you from a place you don't expect it. But on the other hand, blazes have an annoying range that won't be helped with a spear at all. Is my kind of thinking. Let's see if my thinking is correct. Okay, so spear, oh no, yeah, okay, oh no, die. Okay, that got so close to being my end. This is a mess of a, yeah, you do not want to use a spear as your only weapon in the Nether. That is scary. Yeah, keep your expectations whiny. The results are so blimey. There's Nautilus Netherite armor there. Does Nautilus Netherite armor actually spawn naturally? I haven't gotten a good feel for that either. Yeah, it feels like there's a bunch of information that, like, you can only test with statistical probabilities or looking at the code. And so I don't have a good feel for those. Antonia says this is the... Oh, sorry. Xavier says this is the coward's weapon. Yeah, I see how this is a coward's weapon. I mean, it is, definitely. Okay, so we'll put that on the ground, that on the ground. And then we have to poke the skeleton. Come on, skeleton. So yeah, this is the worst weapon in Bedrock by a long shot for defending yourself. Except in that little niche scenario where you need to defend yourself from a distance. Which is, you know, I say it's niche, but it's not. It's not that wildly niche, right? So make sure no wither skeletons can get hit by placing as many of these around as we can. Then place a block there, and the last two... Oh, no, you ruined it. You ruined it, friend. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, this is bad. I'm going to charge him. Okay, it didn't work. It's not working. Okay. Ouch, 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 ouch. Heal, 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 heal. Okay, so this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is very bad, chat. This is very, very, very bad. But I'm going to survive it. So, yeah, the spear... Not that good, I fear. It's kind of good for this, like, you know, shield. Like, I think the shield and the spear are ironically a really good combination on Bedrock. Because being able to... This is the new defensive weapon, chat. This is the... If you have a shield and you are piling around, you have a really long delay before you can use it again. But if you time it well, you can keep stuff nice and far. Does the shield work when you shift? Yes. So unlike Java, where you can't use the shield because of this right-click function or left trigger, you can do it on Bedrock. Wither skeletons are made of coal, and coal is composed of dead sea creatures. What do wither skeletons call from the overworld? Are they composed of coal, or do they just turn into coal? You know, there's a difference between being made of something and turning into something. Okay, so there's a lot of blazes over there. I'm gonna try and get those blazes, chat.
Started watching your channel to learn the game so I could share in playing it with them. We play every weekend. I just wanted to say thanks for helping make fun memories with my kids.
Oh, that's so wholesome. Thank you so much for the tip. I've got to say, Brad R. I really love hearing that the you know, they're kind of like treating people like they are. Oh, we're dead, chat. It's over. It's over. There's no way. GG. Oh, there was a wither skeleton there. There was nothing we could do about wither skeleton blaze combo. So that goes to show, spear is a bad weapon. So yeah, Brad R, though, thank you so much. I think that teaching people about Minecraft is really important. It's one of those things that, like, seems weird. Like, a lot of the channel tunes out when we do, like, a tutorial to something that might seem basic or old hat. But I'm really glad we do it for reasons like your tip. And so thank you for reminding me that. Are spears a new vanilla item, or are they modded? Haven't kept with Minecraft recently. I'm behind. So that's Epic Mac. Or Epic Ear Mac. The answer to that is that they are... Okay, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Okay. Hopefully slower than I otherwise would. Yeah, so the answer to that is that they are a vanilla feature. They very much exist in the base game. Also, we have no blocks. I should have changed that. I'm gonna die again if I don't. Okay, go, 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 go. That's a copper spear. I need an iron spear. Go. 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 Oh, okay, one's dead. So you really, really have to, like... You don't get any knockback on this weapon. At least against... blazes, you don't. Okay, it's not over yet. It's not over yet, chat. It could be over yet soon. But it's not over yet. Yeah, I think I'll change my boots enchantment. And then I'm going to sit here until I heal. All the way, chat. I'm going to heal. And I'm also going to replace the arrows with blaze rods. Because once I get 6 blaze rods, I can just leave here. But I'm looking for netherite Nautilus armor too. So maybe I should... How about I just charge right in there, chat? Charge! Charge! Yeah, look how good that was. Oh, 4 hits! That's not the worst. Okay, so... Again, look at this combo right here. If you do a lot of knockback, as we are intending to do right here... Oh, yeah, this sucks. Oh, this really sucks. I take back all the praise. So, yeah, the knockback actually knocks back onto the skeleton and knocks him back a crazy amount as well. Which is very funny if you ask me. I can't afford another, like, messed up hit. There we go. He's gone. He's gone. He's dead. So now I need to eat food. And I need to, I don't know, place some fences down. Do I need to place fences down? Not really. I'll place 3 over here, just because I've got them. And then I'll get my pickaxe and my axe out, because you never know. And then we'll just... this isn't the part of the stronghold we want to be in, though. Or fortress. So I'll place that back, actually. And then we want to go to the left here, is it? Yeah, we want to go into that big building there. That's where all the good armor is, including for Nautiluses. And so, let's make our way in. Okay. This is scary. Okay, I'm just going to place some blocks back behind me. And let's just tunnel our way in. Like you're meant to. This is clearly what fortresses were put up for doing. Oh. 4 hits is the same as a stone or copper sword, so you may as well just make one of those. But being able to do it from a longer distance, that's got some value if you can Oh, it's so bright, chat. I forgot you can't play vibrant visuals in the Nether. It's just honestly, I think vibrant visuals. Oh, we're gonna die if we go down there. We're gonna die if we go down, and we're gonna die if we don't go down. Okay, I'm just gonna get behind these guys. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, fireball me. It's fine. You can fireball me. Oh, he can, and it's okay. It's very effective, apparently. I'm gonna have to eat just to stay alive, and very barely. And yeah, chat. Let's do a real discussion about. Also, set your spawn with the bed. You know what, Nicholas Vidot? I'm starting to think that you are not on my side. With advice like that, I'm gonna start being more cautious. So okay, we're gonna be fine. Okay. Yeah, their melee attack is very bad. We just need to get away from him. Oh, he's really tricky to hit on Bedrock. Really, really tricky. But there we go. He's dead. That's 5 of these gone. Oh, and there's a big spawner right there. What am I doing next to a spawner, chat? I am so beyond boned. Okay, I'm just going to mine down. Hope for the best. Okay, mine down and hope for the best. This is my strategy. I'm going to put a block over there. And I'm just going to dig right through it all. Okay, well, I can't go down there. Can't go down there at all. That's just not gonna work, is it? You know, I'll be fine. Yeah, I'm doing great, chat. So, as it turns out, this is a bad place for me. And so I'm gonna get out. Just... out. Not my problem anymore. Oh. Are there any rules besides don't use a sword? No, I'm mostly out here trying to get a feel for the spear as a combat weapon, right? By using it primarily and exclusively. Oh yeah. I think it's fun to see how much you would really use the charge attack on a day-to-day basis. Which is to say, not that much. You have to specifically plan for it. Do you still have the melon slice villager? What? Oh, yes, in my Let's Play world? Is the answer to that question. Yeah, Spear on Bedrock is really not good, says Neon Soul. I would argue it's just as good. It's arguably better than its Java counterpart. It's just everything else on Bedrock is so much better that why would you use it? Poll time, VV, yes or no? That's a good question. Start a poll. Vibrant visuals. Yes, no. Chat, you get to decide. Should we play today's stream with vibrant visuals on or vibrant visuals off? I feel like there's a lot of downsides of it. But maybe that's just me being the particular person and way that I am. Oh, by the way, there's no inside of this. There's no inside of this one. Because of the fact that it seems to bug out. Chat, this is the room that tells you you're about to head onto the inside. But there is no inside past this. And so, this is what it is. So, VV on, but set your brightness to 0%. Oh, that's a really fun point, actually. I want to do the 0% brightness stream. Is Vibrant Visuals 0% brightness playable more so than default? Oh, you can only go to Gamma's 50%. Yeah, brightness is not an adjustable setting. So this is Gamma set to 50%. Oh, it is horrifying. It really is Minecraft, but a horror game. Yeah, I don't like this at all. I'm going to turn this right the way off. Whereas for comparison, if you play with... oh, I can't change my graphics mode. Interestingly. But let's just set this back to like 108 or something like that. Yeah, much better. This looks more Minecrafty. It's just so bright looking at this blaze. I feel like I am going to go blind. So let's keep on attacking. Switch out to that copper spit. Get some more attacks in there. I don't know if it's a bug or not, but I keep getting blinded in the Nova VV, like when I get too close to an archer. Yeah, I'm definitely, I think the Never is unplayable with Vibrant Visuals. That is my that is my real conclusion of all of this. But, chat has voted 55% that yes, Vibrant Visuals should be turned on. And so, I am nothing if not a man of the people. Which is why you should consider electing me the next time you get to your ballot box. Okay, so... Ooh. You know, it used to be much funnier to suggest that people you like became president before there was a celebrity president. I've got to say, he really ruined that. He really ruined that concept for a lot of people. Oh! So yeah, I am in a very bad place right now. But I can get out of it. I can get out of it. I'm going to switch this out for some bread. And then I'm just going to climb out of here. Probably. Oh, no. I'm going to die, chat. I'm going to die. I'm so dead. Nope, we're not. So I'll run all the way around and across the stronghold. Do whatever we need to do to survive. Because there's not going to be any horse armor in this. But maybe in the rest of the Nether there will be. We can stay hopeful. So let's charge. Okay, didn't work very well. Oh, we can't go that way. So let's charge. It's kind of cool we got a double charge stack in there. I'm going to mine a few bone blocks just because they're here. And then I'm going to charge. It doesn't really do much to charge. It just makes me feel good. Oh, okay. That's bad. That's bad. That's me GG'd if I don't eat the spread in time. Okay, so I might just spend a few moments enjoying the peace of this little room with nothing else in it. I could mine across, actually. Get some blocks while I'm at it. And try and head back to the rest of the fortress. That could work out in my favor quite nicely. Yeah, because there's definitely something over here, right? So let's just mine into it. And hope that what we mine into is good. Maybe you'll kill blazes faster if you bring a horse into the nether. Oh, it seems the sword is in your inventory. Oh no, we failed. Stupid, right? That's not how it works. Yeah, I do think having a challenge with like a clearer... I do think people like having this like clear fail state, right? For challenges sometimes. I do think it also messes... I think that concept messes with how to do a stream a little bit. Or maybe I'm just doing streaming wrong. I thought about that recently, right? I was like... I think that people do quite like streams, like especially on YouTube. On Twitch, I bet it's different, but people like streams that have like vibes of a long YouTube video. It's like watching a long YouTube video, but you don't know what's going to happen. I used to think that wasn't true. A lot of people just like the, you know, whatever's going on. But I think there are people who specifically are like, yeah, I like this. This is showing up on my YouTube homepage. And so it needs to be as good as something else that would show up on there. It needs to be in that same format, you know? Yeah, anyway, with that said, I am now going to try and work out how to get ender pearls. Chat, it's kind of a tricky one, right? What's the best way to use a spear to get ender pearls? I think spearing enderman comes to mind, but I will die if I try that. I am moderately convinced. I could go to a bastion... But there is no way you survive in a bastion using just a spear. It's not going to happen. And so what do? I do not know, honestly. I do not know. Okay, so that's an enderman. Let's give it a try. Let's see how my strategy works on him. I'll mine a hole into the wall. Okay, where's he gone? There he's gone. Chat, this is my spear. This is an enderman. Oh, it's really good for enderman, actually. This might be the premier tool for taking down endermen. No, it's not. They're not going to recoil fast enough. Okay. Yeah, not that bad at all, actually. All things considered. Attack him some more. Where's he at? He's going to come back for me. He remembers I'm here. And then he teleports away again. Is there like a right place to hit an enderman to make sure they don't teleport away? I've always wondered that. This is why you should use boats. Also, where's he gone? Come back. Yeah, that's what I thought. You're still mad at me, as you should be. But sadly, that didn't result in anything. So, yeah. That worked. And honestly, it wasn't a lot worse than a regular thing. If you run at an enderman, it should teleport away like arrows. Yeah, that's a funny point, actually. So if we charge into an enderman like this, he should be like, oh no, it's a projectile coming at me. And he should get away from that. I agree with this logic a lot, actually. Also, is this a second fortress? This is such a ridiculous spawn, chat. 2 nether fortresses right by spawn? Is the world being serious right now? It seems like it is being. Throw away the sword to remove temptation. Oh, I already did. We should throw away some other things to remove temptation. You never know. Sometimes you look at copper nuggets the wrong way. Can't be dealing with that. Get rid of some apples, because, you know, I don't want... I want to have some doctors nearby at some point. Get rid of some... You know, I'll just turn the rest into bone meal. Bone meal, bone meal. That's 2 stacks gone together. And now I'm ready to grow anything big that I want to. Can you grow mushrooms in the nether? I'm sure you can't. I'm sure there's a good reason why. So let's stop trying and instead get ourselves out here. Oh, chat. Oh. Did you hear my armor started to die on that? Okay, so I'm going to eat again. I'm going to get my copper spear out and we're going to do this. I'm going to shoot the gas fireball back at him. Or maybe I'm not. Is this gas bugged or something? He just wants to look at me. He doesn't want to attack me. That's nice. In your hotbar? Oh, you're right. The sword is literally in slot 1. Sometimes it's hard to see things in Minecraft when they're right in front of you. Yeah, it is very funny. We had a... You know, let's remove it and replace it with this. Our Silk Touch Unbreaking Efficiency Pickaxe. So yeah, we're going to go into the fortress now. Hello, piglins. How are you? Oh, this is the inside fortress. Okay. So I'm going to mine into a different part of the fortress. Looks like just over here will do fine. And let's see how well that goes for me. Make a nice little tunnel in. There we go. Easy peasy. That's a chest. Is there Nautilus armor? No, but there's a rib trim. That's crazy. What a rare find that is. Nautilus armor is very rare according to the wiki. But will we find any? I guess we'll find out. Place those blocks. 2 rib trim tape. Wow. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Let's head down. See if there's anything fun down here. Okay, I'm just going to avoid you. I think that might be cheaper for me than anything else. I'll do the same over here. I know I don't have to worry about things. Saddle? Yes. Gold chest plate? Yes. Gold ingots? Sure, why not? I think I might have got myself trapped in a bad place now. So, yeah, I've got 2 rib trims now, chat. What do I do with them? I genuinely do not know what the best call is here. So let's just close this off. And let's go back to this chest. Unless it's the one I came in for. It's not. Oh, 2 obsidian. That's nice. Ah! And that's not nice, so close that off. And then charge at this guy. He's blinding me, chat. I can't see anything else. Thank God he only attacked me once there. Run back up the stairs. Okay, okay. This is a scary place to be. When you're not necessarily well balanced. You know, let's attack this guy with the spear. I can't run from everything, chat. Some things need to be faced head on. And this guy is one of them. Okay, go for it. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is a terrible weapon. Do not charge enemies. That's my advice. It seems like hitbox and pocket vision are always smaller. I'm not sure, but it feels that way. Yeah, the spear definitely. The spear definitely feels the tiniest. I've always felt like the hitboxes are a little bit janky. But this more so than anything else. I like this fortress. It's got a little growing tree in there. Okay, so out we go. And this is such a wild fortress, by the way. It's like layered on top of itself in a really fun way. And even more fun, there's another chest, and in there, a couple horse armor. What a fun find. I could still keep looking for Nautilus armor, chat. I'm just not convinced I will find some. Not convinced in the slightest. So, yeah, how do we find ender pearls, chat? What do you recommend? I think we could go trading as our, like, least bad option. But I think we should do some combat. So, killing Enderman if we can find a warp forest. But, are we going to find a warp forest is the important question. For now, let's build myself a bridge. I'm going to build a bridge. I'm going to get over here. Okay, so just bridge right over everything to here. And then we're going to look in the ceiling to see if there's a chest here. If there's a chest, then obviously I go in and I get it. That's going to be a little bit tricky when there's a big hog in there. So I'll just place a block down, not there, but like down a couple more blocks. Like, chat, this is a problem with crouching. I want to place a block there. Ah! Okay, like there. Or there. Damn it, chat, I want to place a block over... This has never happened to me before with Bedrock placing. I want to place a block like there. And then I want to do this. And there's a saddle, which isn't that useful, honestly, nowadays. Also, I love that these guys are attacking each other. That is my dream. I love when enemies attack other enemies. Village trades are probably the safest. Yeah, given how the spear has performed for me, it wouldn't be unreasonable for me to say, let's just go back to the overworld. Let's do some trading. But do we then want to take on the end using just a single... You know, does that make some actual sense? To take on the end using an iron spear? Or do we need to get some diamonds? If we need to get some diamonds, do we go to the deep dark? That's probably being a bit whimsical. So is this different fortress or the same as before, disconnected by block tunnels? It's far enough away that it's definitely a different one. You can tell because there's one room you only get once in a fortress. And the other fortress has it, as well as this fortress having it. But yeah, they're so far that you can tell there's no connection. Beat him up like you beat up the golem. That's my plan for the dragon, actually. I mean, really, my plan for the dragon should be to get an elytra and do things that way. But, you know, it's not. So, yeah, use the spear. Stop avoiding mobs you can hit from the roof. That's a fair point, actually. I'm kind of... okay, so let's charge the gas, chat. Charge! Okay, you can't charge attack gas fireballs. You'll be pleased to know, or you'll be not pleased to know. But can we hit them back with our spear? No, you cannot. Oh, dear God. Do not try. Oh, whoa! I've heard about this existing, chat. This is my first time finding one. Isn't this fun? Oh, I'll take a little screenshot of him. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, look. It's a zombie piglin with a spear. Isn't that fun? How can that not be fun? I bet he can attack me from some serious distance, too. Chat, do we want to find out how far away he's willing to attack me from? I mean, I think just for the science, right? I think we have to. Oh, not from very far at all, honestly. It looks like he's using the charge attack and not the jab attack. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. I might have given my all for this death. Okay. Whoopsie. Well, I did say I was willing for that to happen. So, pro tip. If you see a piglin with a spear, you don't need to attack him. It's actually entirely fine not to. Yeah, you are not a friggin... Oh, wait. Someone says, at craft, you're not a friggin' developer. Any suggestions for next snapshot? I still think it's fun to discuss, right? I think there is something about the word suggestions that implies you are actively going to do something about them. But, like, I want to hear your suggestions, chat, for how we can go to Mars. I don't think anyone's going to implement them. I'm certainly not. Yeah, I did a really good job, chat. I went through the entire Nether without dying, and then I poked a zombie piglin. Which, to be fair, I would have survived if I'd have just been a bit patient with. But as you all know, Bedrock healing goes against all my instincts to be... Like, Bedrock healing requires you to be as patient as a... Where is my portal? There it is. A little too patient. The weapon smith trade diamond spears. Should the weaponsmith trade diamond spears? Oh, that's a fun idea. That's something fun that you don't think about until later. But, like, definitely, right? Definitely, probably, that's for sure. Bring some oxygen or something so you can breathe. Why would... I need to bring oxygen so I can breath. Nope, don't get it. Why do I need oxygen to breath? I mean, I know why I need oxygen to breath. But why are you suggesting that I need to breath? Also, should we make ourselves a bundle? Or at least just get rid of useless items? So, boots, nice. Wooden spear, probably not so nice. Although it is a spear run, so I'll keep it. I can make this into planks, which means I can make this into sticks and then not need the other block. Boom, easy peasy. That's one block down. Rotten flesh, don't need. Bones, into the pile they go. Free cobblestone, free nether brick. Don't really need those. Because I've got plenty of everything else. So yeah, chat, I think that we ultimately have to decide, is the nether going to be a better source of ender pearls than the overworld? And the answer is usually yes. But my instinct on this one is saying no. Although I've lost all my tools. Where's my pickaxe gone? Oh, there it is. So I could actually... Okay. I've got a dumb idea, chat. I'm going to bring back a bunch of gold ore. And then we're going to smelt it. This is what is widely known as a very cool, very clever move. And trust me, you're going to love it when you see why. So we'll make sure we grab a ton of these. Also, immune from fire. I don't think that makes any sense. Why does a zombie catch fire, but a zombie piglin doesn't? What is the difference? I love how you can answer a question Toycat says, and he looks in response to you like he spoke Spanish. Oh, yeah, there we go. I do. First of all, we can blame. You could call that an attention span thing, or we could say actually, this is a chat delay problem, and also mock you for forgetting a letter. I feel like, and Sony, this happens to you more than anyone else, which tells me that your responses are so abstract that they lose the point of the question. This shouldn't be a consideration, but maybe it should be. That like your question should make your answer should make the question clear. If someone says, what's your favorite animal? And you say pigeon, that's not a very clear answer. If you say pigeon because they can fly, that is my favorite animal, dear Toy Cat, then I would understand perfectly. How are you coping with the Dan and Phil news? I wasn't a teenage girl in 2012. So I haven't really processed it yet, you know. This is not my fault, buddy. I just have no idea what that could be in response to. What's not your fault, Adam Sony? Are you going through something right now that you need me to explain? Also a pigeon, bro? Pigeons are fun animals. They're underrated. There's so many of them that you forget that they're such a lovable creature. But that doesn't mean they're not. So chat, this is what I just referred. This is one of the cleverest things you can do in all of Minecraft. Get this right. If you bring a silk touch tool to the nether and smelt your nether gold ore, you get a whole gold ingot from it. A whole gold ingot. Wow. Can you imagine what you could do with this many of them? Honestly, this actually is kind of fun. I think I will put my lava bucket in there and then refill that. And then maybe go back and get in some more. And then we'll start work on a brewing stand villager. I hope that I've got a cleric in this village already. Let's hope that he's still alive. And if he is, let's lay the groundwork for a fruitful relationship. You are a pigeon man because you eat them right. You are a cat. You know, there is the phrase letting a cat amongst the pigeons. Wait, yeah, a cat amongst the pigeons. Had to make sure that was a phrase first. It sounded kind of like it wasn't. Also, I think according to Alika, yes, I'm being attacked. This is a response to me asking there's something going on in my life from my previous comment. See, there we go. See how much context you provided? Now there is no way that I could possibly be lost or confused by your message. And isn't that such a wonderful thing? I think that you've proven the genius of the system. And as a result, as a result, you know exactly how this works. I do have to say, I think there is a real, like, you could call this a one-to-many interaction problem. I have this in real life all the time. Has anyone else ever had this? Where, like, two of your friends just start talking at the same time. And you're like, and so who am I meant to pay attention to? Like, do I listen to who is louder? That seems like an unfair... Do I listen to whoever looks more interesting? That's rude. You're like, this... maybe I have bad friends, but this happens to me all the time. The only people it doesn't happen to me with is couples. Like, couples are like... I don't know, they would feel bad about speaking over each other, maybe. Or maybe they just don't have enough things to say, because they've said it all to each other. I don't know, but in either case, or maybe they've pre-asked their, maybe they've pre-synced their questions, or they've pre-synced their conversational topics. But yeah, I don't know how to deal with it, and sometimes on the internet you get like a 10-to-1 thing where 10 people all say something at the same time, and genuinely 2 or 3 of those people just say nonsense, and I'm now so used to the concept that people will just say nonsense to me that sometimes I'm like, oh, is that like, you know, regular here? Xavier, also, are you calling me a bad friend? No, I hear 10 messages and I'm like, oh, Adam Sony has something to say. I bet it's something interesting. And then I have no idea why it's about oxygen, because I forgot that I mentioned Mars 40 seconds ago. Tell them to take turns talking. But then who goes first? Yeah, I think it is a good idea to enforce on some people, like, nope, you're not talking at the same time. If you keep talking at the same time, now there's 3 of us talking and now no one's hearing anyone. That's a fun idea. So yeah, I need to get some emeralds, chat, and the easiest way to get emeralds is to get a farmer. I'm sure there's a farmer around here somewhere, but if there's not, I'll make myself a hoe using some stone. Okay, so my crafting table's over here. I'll make another crafting table, it's fine. The average number of nuggets from Fortune Fruit is 8.8, which is slightly less than nugget, therefore it's more efficient to mine Never Gold Ore of Silk Touch than to smelt it into ingots. I remember it being slightly more efficient to use Fortune, so it's fun that it's worked out well for me. I will be taking that one, I guess. So, yeah, we need to make sure that we find a... What are they called? A farmer villager. And we need to reset the farmer village. Also, what is that over there? Is there a ruined portal in this village? Have you ever seen this before, chat? A ruined portal with no portal? Am I crazy for seeing that right here? Yeah, it's a ruined portal, sans portal. What? Can this happen? Hey!
Just
Mike
got here. How is today's challenge going?
Mike Bailey! Challenge is going pretty well. I had an amazing never for finding blaze rods, but an awful never for finding ender pearls, which isn't usually how it goes. So we're going to be doing some overworld farming to fill in the gap. So I'll make myself a crafting table, my 15th crafting table, and then I'll make myself some slabs. Can you make a composter out of these blocks? Oh, apparently you can. Never tried. There's no good reason why you shouldn't, but Minecraft is a game filled with there's no good reason why you shouldn't, but you can't. Also, is Never Gold Ingots 1-to-1 smelting? It is. You'll be pleased to know. So I could just make a bunch of composters. That might actually be the logical move. I definitely, honestly, while it's raining, do I want to be in the overworld? Or do I want to be in the Nether mining gold ingots where I'm happy? I think the answer's probably the latter. Yeah, let's go to the Nether. Let's just go to the Nether where it can't rain and everything's fine. This is truly a ruined portal. So ruined that there is no portal. Also sans, whoa, story of Undertale. I say the word sans too much. I think it sounds pretentious. I think I specifically want to get some pretentious sounding words in my vocabulary. Like I think I want to start saying words. I was thinking about this recently, chat, and maybe you're not meant to think about this on this level. But I was like, I think I want to start saying words like, you know, flabbergasted. I want to say words that sound funny. So even if, so by the way, that's how easy it is to poke something with your fist. Is that me using, oh, we got tears too. Is that me using my fist and therefore not using my spear, chat? Only you can decide. But you're probably deciding wrong. Okay, so I'm just going to stack up high. And I'm going to get more of these. Because I'm clearly going to need a lot of gold. And I'm in the perfect biome for it. So let's get ourselves a lot of gold that we can smelt to trade with our villager to save ourselves some emeralds. I'm still going to try and kill this guy using a spear. Okay, let's go. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't do this to me. Don't do this. And then we have to go into here. Perfect. Chat, I want to get my first Eye of Ender. That's my goal. If I don't get it from you, I'll get it from this guy. Did he look at me correctly? I hope he did. Eat some bread. Oh, what is the liquid in the jam jar this evening? Says Holly Nereska. That's a great question. I restocked my my Pepsi Max no caffeine. I hate one of my like adult observations. Hey, first ender pearl of the run. One of my adult observations that I hate but can't get away from is that Coke is a slightly more addicting drink than like Fanta or Sprite. Like orange is objectively a better tasting thing than like what even is Coke? Vegetable oil or something. Also, I don't like being in here. Yeah, this isn't what I like at all. I'm just gonna keep poking the magma cube until he dies. But then I don't really have a great plan for when he dies. Besides run away. Yeah, let's just run away. Solves all my problems. It's friggin' 4 AM at my place and my alarm scared me. Your alarm should scare you at any time of day. Also, if it's 4 AM, that means you live in 7 hours east. Like Malaysia? Maybe like Far East India or something like that? I want to know the story. Tell me about it. You microwave jam. Yeah, there's a lot of, like, there's a lot of drinks that I like. But the one drink that I can reliably be like, this isn't water, but is tasty, is like whatever Coke derivative beverage there is. Like Coke Zero, Pepsi Max. I'll die on the hill that Pepsi Max no caffeine is the good one. But like if I'm getting a drink from a fountain, for example, and I'm getting one of those ridiculous, because you're in America, like 1.5 liter cups, I'm always going to be going for a Diet Coke. I'm not pleased with myself. Okay, so let's go for this, chat. Damn it, it doesn't work. It does not work. Okay, so we're gonna try this again anyway. Ah, no! When did I attack you? I'm not wearing gold. That's how I attack them. Oh, look, there's so many guys with spears here. There's this guy. There's this guy. You can get a little bit of everyone. And they all make life more terrifying. So, yeah, I need to get some more gold. And that means I probably need to wear some gold. Oh, I can just switch out my chest plate and I'll be fine, right? So, drop this. Drop that. Drop there. Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh. Is that my spear gone? It's probably my spear gone. And now we can go back into this cave because it looked like there was a ton of gold in there. So if you have a silk touch pickaxe, going to the nether is basically like going to a mesa biome. Except maybe slightly harder because there's fire everywhere. But if you don't have a mesa biome, it's the next best thing. And as someone who doesn't have a mesa biome, let me tell you that's good. So that every time we get one of these blocks, we get a whole emerald. Every free nether gold we mine is an emerald we don't have to chop down trees for. But also it's a bunch of redstone we don't have to buy. So it kind of works double in our favor. So let's just find any easy gold ore sitting on the surface that somehow is... There we go. There's a big pile up here. Let's go get it. Why'd you keep trying to hit the fireballs back with an anti-fireball weapon? Do you think the spear is an anti-fireball weapon? Also, my god, do you have enough iron for an anvil? No. that is a misunderstanding of the amount of iron required for an anvil. I figured you might have thought like, oh, you actually mean gold, but I don't have enough gold for an anvil either. Also, gold cannot be used to create anvils. I think a gold anvil would be cool. It wouldn't work, but it would be cool. Also, just watch climate change. There's the biomes. There's Lorenz. Good to see you, Lorenz Kaisweber. I hope you're having a wonderful stream. I believe KAS means cheese in German, right? So is your name literally... I say cheese is my middle name a lot. Does that mean that your literal last name is cheese? Or am I mistranslating or misunderstanding? Speaking of misunderstanding, yeah, I think to finish a point that everyone else stopped talking about an hour ago, I think that a lot of people associate a lot of things with drugs that mostly come from this idea that, like, yeah, there are drugs that help you with your jobs and but I think you could ultimately argue that, like, I guess what it is. I was thinking recently about why it is that, like, you know, when you don't have a lot of money, I think the way that you think of the world in terms of inequality is always in terms of money inequality. And that's because I think you get, like, a bunch of, like, pay gates in the world that just feel bad. Like, the world's like, oh, do you have money? If not, you cannot do this thing that your friends are doing. Oh, that is sad. Do you have money? If so, you can get to your destination in 2 hours by train instead of in 3 hours by bus, or whatever the case may be, right? You know, for Americans, you can spend twice as much to go 10 miles per hour faster on the freeway, which is a decision you shouldn't make if you don't have the money to pay for petrol. But I think that despite, you know, those, like, gates being true, I think there's like a funny, I don't know how to even describe it. There's a resentment that lies below that in the world. So we're now gonna find. So we have to buy as many emeralds as we can from this guy, or as many redstones as we can from this guy, and then we're gonna sell him a bunch of gold, and life is gonna be good. But we need to get enough emeralds to buy that, which means we're gonna have to make this guy. Oh, he buys bread already. What a perfect perfect villager he is. So let's make that all right now. Yeah, I think chat, there's a weird dichotomy in the world that, like, I think is really... I don't know. I don't know what the inspiration was that hit me with this. Also, I think I just bought bread. I'm an idiot. I'm a stupid idiot. I am a very, very stupid idiot. And this is why I'm not going to talk about responsibility today. No, but I was thinking about, like, if you, you know, some people aspire, like, genuinely aspire, not in a sarcastic way. Also, I made all my wheat into bread, and it's not meant to be bread. It's meant to be wheat. They only want wheat. They don't care about bread. I'm just a dumb. I played Minecraft for years. I've done this trade hundreds of times, and I just mistook what it was. And so now I have made a horrible mistake that has cost me everything, chat. My dear God, I am stupid. I made a very... there was a decision that was entrusted to me just now, chat. And I made it so wrong. And that now the penalty for that mistake is on me, right? And that is what you might call responsibility. You know, it doesn't... I think responsibility is an interesting thing because it's oh, we got bread and we got 2 emeralds. So we're back to where we were, just with more bread, I guess you could say, and fewer hay bales. If there's no more hay bales, we'll have to go all the way to another village or something. Which means we might as well just make ourselves a IF ender anyway. I'll make the rest of these into blaze powder too. Let's make an IF ender. Let's just go look for the stronghold and bring back some bread from there. Let's go this way. Oh, dear God. Okay, well, this is great, isn't it? Well, the center of the village probably isn't over here. Yeah, I doubt it. The center of the village would have been there. So we're just going to head this way until we find something. Yep. Looks like... Oh, there's a village over there. Okay, perfect. I didn't see that village before, but I guess I wasn't over here before. So life is easy. At least you don't have to worry about food anymore. And all we could do was watch the horror unfold. Yeah, exactly. You had to go through the whole thing. In America, you can pay $20 on Craigslist and take 4 hours to get to your local grocery store. Yeah, that's a... Something is fascinating to me about the concept of bikes being, like, a poor form of transport. Instead of being, like, oh, yeah, the fitness form of transport. I think there's so many quirks of the American system that fascinate people from outside of it. But that is definitely one of the ones at the top. But yeah, so responsibility is a really interesting premise. Because I think it's this idea of taking on, you know, when something goes good or bad, that being your fault. You know, you are taking some, you know, like, in life, a lot of the times we talk about intention as being the most important thing. Like, well, he meant to do well, so it doesn't matter that he did terribly, you know? The difference between, my friend just served on a jury this week, and he had to, so chat, you know, I told my story about being on a jury, and then, like, a month later, one of my, like, closest friends, got put on a jury at, like, the most, it's a big case, and he was in deliberations for weeks, because the jury couldn't decide between manslaughter or murder. And the entire difference there is intent. But ultimately, the reason it had to be one or the other was because regardless of what the person who did the bad thing thought they were doing, they killed another person with their actions. And so the only debate, there's no debate about, well, they didn't intend to do it, so like it's not that bad. It's like, no, they killed a person, and they acted in a way that you are not meant to act, that resulted in that happening. And so, how's it gonna go, right? You could just farm the wheat, the more you know. Oh, it's never worth farming wheat to sell to villagers. It's just, that's just not ever gonna make sense to anyone. So, yeah, this is probably not where the villager is. But there might be something valuable in here for me. Also, there's extra iron should I want it. And I'm probably gonna want an iron axe, actually. So, should we run around and poke the golem? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, chat. But yeah, responsibility is an interesting concept because to be responsible for something is to take charge for whether it goes well or whether it goes poorly, right? And that is to kind of take some amount of the universe's randomness and take it into your own hands. You know, like, to put it this way, right? If you're a manager at a grocery store, you're responsible for whether the things get loaded. And that means, sure, sometimes your shift ends at 5 and all the groceries come in at 4:45 because the lorry driver wasn't being very responsible or got delayed in some way. But like the concept of like responsibility is interesting because I think what we actually have in life that makes some people bitter is the kind of responsibility hierarchy that varies so hugely. So you can't stack saddles. We can't put that in there. I think we have like a huge responsibility inequality in the world that makes some people feel really... And I think that comes into drugs to some extent, but I think it comes into lots of other things. Like the reason that people... Like when you are young and you see, you know, like Johnny has 17 quarks and Timmy only has 7. And you go like, well, that's unfair. Don't they both work 40 hours a week? But then as you like get to a certain point, you're like, oh, but this person is responsible for so much more, meaning they can't just go home at 5 because they might have something to do. They have to think about it more. They can't just be like, I check into my job at 9 and I leave at 5. And I think a lot of people feel like that is a difference in the world that is like kind of silently unexpressed. The lens through which we talk about how to change the world is through this very narrow, like, you know, like 2 wings of politics situation of like, yes, there is only this way or that way. But there's also the whole thing about like, yeah, some people get to live a life. You know, if you're in your, you can live your life in your 20s traveling and free, or you can live your life being overbeared by like, if your parents become disabled and you have to look after them, then that is a huge responsibility. That's a huge burden that gets placed on you. That doesn't result in more pay, doesn't result in a better quality of life. In fact, usually a substantially worse one. Do I want jungle logs? Usually yes, not today though. Instead, we'll just make a bunch of wheat. Like so much wheat. And that should finally... Okay, if this guy is still buying wheat, which he should be, this is not the same guy. If we can find the other guy, we'll be good. Could have farmed using bone meal you dropped. I didn't drop bone meal. I've got bone meal right here. But I get what you're saying. I could have farmed using the bone meal. Okay, so let's sell all of these that we can. Perfect, 15 emeralds. Then let's go to the cleric. Is it the same guy? I haven't traded with anyone yet, so let's buy 15 of these. And then let's start selling our gold. I almost had enough gold to sell straight to the next tier, which was incredible. But I'll go straight into my furnace, get the rest, and then we'll be good to go. And then I can use my iron to make an iron X, which I can strip the whole village to sell to a Fletcher. I don't have any flint yet, but I'll think about that when I think about it, and we'll be good. Should have checked the village for a stronghold. I'm not... I think the IFender told me basically there wasn't a stronghold there, right? Maybe I'm reading that a bit too much. Maybe that's not how you take it. It's definitely what I took from what I saw there. I'm just going to take this, move it closer to the village, because I've got some stuff that needs to be done. And I want to make sure that this is actually running while I'm in the village doing things. Should I be responsible and stop paying my toycat tax? See, but then you could... I mean, arguably, if I was making my pro toycat tax argument that you know I would make the argument that like, well, actually, the responsible thing to do is something, 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 support the content you watch. But actually, yeah, you could say like, well, if you are really struggling to make ends meet while paying an internet streamer, yeah, of course you shouldn't. Your responsibility is first to the people around you and to the... And if you are failing to meet your responsibilities to them, you know, I don't think anyone would dream of arguing that you should be paying internet streamers their share first. Because no matter how hard anyone would argue, that's just not as important. I think I would argue very strongly that, like, you have, like, rings of obligation, right? You have the people in your life who are closest to you, and then you have the series of people that comes out after that. And I think a lot of people get, like, entrapped by people who are like, oh, yeah, you know, there's no such thing as all of that. There's no such thing as responsibility. Just do whatever you want all the time, and hopefully that is good for me. But I do think that starts to fall apart. Also, if I've got YouTube Premium, isn't that? Oh, so I just cancelled my membership, lol. See, you do what is the best thing for you. And I think that I think that more importantly, it's like, if you're actually there, like, oh, I really don't want to do this, then it's one worth asking, like, why do you do it? You know, working out. I think there's a lot of things that you don't want to do that I think the life is filled with things we don't want to do but do anyway. And part of that is responsibility, right? Like, this morning, chat, there's this really fun project I'm working on where I am working with someone who is just asking for details that I can't possibly know until they've done something first. Do you know... Also, did I just kill both those zombies in one hit? It felt like I did. Do you know what I'm talking about, chat? Has anyone else ever had that happen to them? Where it's like, oh, that's so weird. Look at the... Okay, it stopped happening. So let's go find our cleric, if he's still alive, and let's make sure he's locked inside here. I certainly would hate to have him still roaming free. But yeah, we can now... We have to sell a few more of these, and then we'll be able to buy ender pearls. And once we can buy ender pearls, we'll need to be able to buy... we'll need to be able to get some extra emeralds, which means we need a cleric. If we want to find a cleric, we're going to need to get some gravel. Gravel is found in rivers, so let's go punch some of that up. Remember, when you have less money, it's because you talked me out of it. Exactly. At the end of the month, when I'm starving, as definitely happens to YouTubers, that this is definitely what happens. Don't question it. You know, at the end of the month, it should be you being like, oh, should I have really done that to him? No, I think the responsibility thing is a mess because, like, yeah, some people, I have a friend who has taken responsibility for a child. It's not their child; they've just taken responsibility for it, which is a really good thing to do, right? When the child has like, you know, if the child has like one-ish parents, it's important that someone jumps in there, because you know, like, I think one of the cruelest things about the world is this idea that, like, yeah, if we let everyone do... Also, stay cool, man, says Leroy. Thank you, Leroy. I was recently gifted YouTube Premium, so I am finally supporting the people that I watch as EHK. Yeah, YouTube Premium's the stuff, let me tell you. I love it a lot as a creator and as a viewer. I think it's really good. But no, yeah, I think recently, actually, I'm going to talk about a topic that I think is actively what you might call like bad for business, but I think a really interesting discussion anyway. Hey, Ad and Sony! Welcome to the Support Cat Club. Thank you for taking Xavier's spot. I also assumed you were a member this entire time. Can't believe that I was wrong in that assumption. Also, we're now officially at the Ender Pearl tier, so we can buy some Ender Pearls, find our way to the next thing. But now this means especially we need to start selling sticks. So I'm going to look for a cleric, and I'm going to sell the cleric, lots and lots and lots of wood. And then we're going to go to the end, and we're going to beat up the Ender Dragon using a spear. It's not going to go well, but that's what's going to make it fun. So plenty of these. Wait, only 32? That's only 64 sticks. That's not very many at all. I'll put this in there and that in there. And now I need to get 9 times 5. That's 45 emeralds, and I've got 4. So I'm going to be able to get 4 of those emeralds from gold, which means I need to get 37 emeralds from blocks. Every 4 blocks equals an emerald, so I need to therefore mine 120 something of this. And I'll sell it to the cleric as soon as he gets it. Forgetting to remember is surprisingly common. It's the #1 cause of forgetting. Yeah, recently I've been, like, I think one of the real treats in life that people don't appreciate, like, I don't know, let's pick something really silly, right? Like the, because I was just talking about, like, yeah, so I've got someone in my life who's decided to pick up responsibility for a child. And the reason why is not because they, you know, like, it's not that they wanted this child right here, but this child was right there, and it needed to have, you know, like, some parent-level figure. And so she has decided to be that for the child. And that is a thing to say, like, yeah, it doesn't matter, you know, who should be responsible for this. What matters is that someone, you know, takes responsibility for this. And also, I forgot to remember. That's what Bearded Man comment was in response to. Okay, so let's just keep chopping down the easiest bits of houses. I'm gonna leave this village an absolute wreck, but it's gonna be worth it. Okay, chat. I think I've got 4 conversation tangents open at one time here, and so it's all gonna tie in together. But yeah, I saw a really interesting video from the Penguin Z0 Man. In my mind, I can only ever know him as that because he was like, he was like really big in the early days of YouTube for being like a Let's Player who specifically didn't have ads turned on their YouTube channel. And what's interesting is that's the only reason I knew him. And so the first video I watched in like 9 years was one that was like saying, oh yeah, I've decided to stop allowing people to tip and stop allowing people to become members or what's the word, like subscribers on Twitch or whatever else. Yeah, this is the guy's like whole thing, and it was really interesting to me that the guy specifically said, people are throwing money at me and I've decided to turn it down. And at first he was just like, yeah, I don't think it provides enough value. But then he later said, look, I make enough money from ads, I make enough money from the other sources of revenue, that having this extra money just doesn't need to exist. It does, you know, this isn't something I need. It would just be stuff on the top, and for it to come from people doesn't feel good. Thank you so much, Leroy, for becoming the 432nd channel member. And it's interesting because it like, I watched that video at a time where I decided to do basically the opposite. I'm gonna come out and be brave here, chat. I basically like 5 years ago, I decided to go really soft on YouTube memberships or Patreon because I just felt like it would be better. It always should be better to have a wider support, you know, like to have, you know, more monetization coming from fewer people. That is to say, you know, support via YouTube Premium or support via watching ads. It's more reliable and also it's less intrusive. I basically made the exact same, like, cool. But then kind of I've started to reverse on that because it actually doesn't, there's a lot, you know, like to make very mass market content does have a lot of its own downsides as well. And I think that those downsides to me didn't feel worth it. Those downsides to me were so heavy that I've decided to do, also I saw the Fletcher a second ago. What is he doing all the way in the center of the village rather than over there? Chat, did I see the Fletcher a second ago? I swear to God, is there a Fletcher in this village? I'm chopping down all these trees, getting all these trades done, and I'm not sure that there is a reason why. Okay, so I'll put this down there, and I'll put down my gravel, which I should have somewhere, and I'll make a shovel to go deal with them. In fact, let's treat ourselves to an iron shovel. No, let's not. I can't bring myself to do it. Let's treat. He recently made a follow-up reading how he made millions. Well, he isn't even one of the mainstream people. Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting video to make. To be like, yeah, I'm not one of the biggest streamers, but I make this much money. Therefore, I don't need to do this anymore. And a lot of people are shocked. A lot of people genuinely have this moment of like, I go out to the, you know, I go out and I work real hard, and I earn a fraction of what this person earns playing video games. And that's something he kind of referenced in his own videos, his own video there, I think. Lifetime earnings of 35 mil, I think. Yeah, there is a certain point. I have a number in my own head. Chat, you know, is it normal to have a number? But anyway, I think there's like a number I think everyone has where they're like, any additional money would just be kind of fun. I think also, chat, I'm going to have to just make a whole extra thing. I don't know why I don't have a single Fletcher despite having a trading thing. But let's just break the blocks until we get what we want from them. That's just the way it's going to be, apparently. And then we'll make a second Fletcher, and hopefully it will actually be a Fletcher. But I've got to do it before tonight, because I want to be able to trade with him, and then sleep, and then trade with him again. Because I need a lot of emeralds, and I need them fast. Was it always called YouTube Premium? It was called YouTube Red before, but I feel like Red and Tube being in the same sentence was something the YouTube executives did not think about until it was too late. I have such a number in my head too. Yeah, I think though, like, there's something fun about... Have I spoken about the concept of barista fire before, chat? Like, that a lot of people would love to be a barista. So bad, in fact, that it's a really... So, FIRE is this movement online. It's called Financial Independence Retire Early. There's a bunch of people who want to earn a bunch of money by doing a stressful job or whatever now, so they can retire when they're 40 and live a modest lifestyle. You know, that is to say, like, if a really high earning investment job pays you 250k a year, you know, that's 5 times more than a 50k a year job, which traditionally... Also, I didn't want to sleep, so it's a good thing the village didn't let me. Let's trade a bunch of those in. A few more, maybe? Yeah, just a few more. And then we'll go to sleep, and then we'll trade the rest in the morning. And then we'll try to find our second Fletcher villager, and life will be good. Yeah, I think that a really interesting idea is that, like, a lot of people actually say, yeah, my goal isn't to stop working when I hit 40. My goal is to take a job that I would find more fulfilling. And generally, the most common version is called barista. Like, I would love to take a job where I work 9 to 5, and then my head is clear at 5 p.m., and I can go focus on my friendships. Or to work, you know, 9 to 2 p.m., 4 days a week. But a lot of people, even when they're picturing their dreams, right? This is something 20 years in the future, they picture having some job that they would love working. And so, I think that... Okay, so is this the same Fletcher? Has he restocked his trades yet? He is not. Therefore, I'll keep chopping down wood, hoping for the best. These cat stickers are cool, says Leroy. Yeah, I like them too. I'm glad you do as well. So, let's buy a few more ender pearls. We're going to just keep buying those as they're available to make sure they don't get more expensive. And we're not going to buy anything while it's too pricey here. So why don't I have a fletching villager, chat? Do you think he's, like, trapped in a basement somewhere? And he's just not able to come and communicate with the world? It's got to be something weird like that. But yeah, so I think that for a lot of people, weirdly enough, I think the dream job version of that, the dream job version of that might actually be, like, be a content creator. I watched a few videos from a guy who genuinely, his, like, whole thing on YouTube is, like, I quit my job and now I'm making YouTube videos for fun. And I've looked at, like, you know, as a YouTuber, you can, like, roughly see how much people are earning. And it's like, oh yeah, he's not doing this because it's mega money. He's doing it because it's more fun than what he was doing before. And what makes that interesting is, like, yeah, for a lot of people, their dream retirement job is the job that I do right now. So actually, should I massively lower my number, chat? If in my head I said before, like, yeah, if I had $10 million, I would never work again. Or at least I would feel relaxed and I would work only as much as I wanted to. You know, should I actually have a barista fire number in my head where I'm like, I basically work a barista level job in terms of how desirable it is and how much people want it? It's something I thought about. I don't know what I should do with the information. But I think that's basically what the video suggested is true for that Charlie fella. Is that, like, yeah, he is... so please tell me you'll buy sticks. Where is this mysterious Fletcher, chat? And why is he not very clear at all? Yeah, it's very frustrating. My whole trading plans are being held up by a villager who may or may not exist. I'm gonna do one last little run through the village. Maybe he's, like, locked in a home somewhere. No, I've been here. Maybe if I killed a few villagers, then they would reset their trade priority. It doesn't make any sense, but neither does what's happening. Nothing is set in stone. Don't kneecap yourself too much. I believe that everyone... also, for fun, I'm sure a lot of them have never experienced it. My brain is only thinking of Starbucks. Yeah, I feel like Starbucks would be very stressful. That's, like... That is my genuine thought. I bet it'd be nice to work at an independent coffee shop where they sell 7 coffees a day, and most of your day is spent smiling at the few customers you do have. But also, that sounds like a lot of social interaction. Sounds like a ridiculous amount of social interaction relative to what I would be looking for in a job. Okay, chat, I'm just going to go make another fletching table. Because if this guy is only giving me expensive trades, then there's no value in him existing over me just going and making a new one. which is silly, but it is life, I guess. So let's put our lever away. Let's put our arrows away. And let's go shovel some gravel till we get some flint. I'm going to make a lot of flint, and then I will never have to do this again, hopefully. So, yeah, I think that the reason a lot of people desire working in a cafe or whatever is kind of this idea that, I think people actually don't hate working. They hate responsibility. And so a lot of ideas get conflated into one, that like some people work more than other people, but a lot of people work the same amount as other people, and therefore they think, well, if we both work 40 hours, why should anyone ever be paid different? But I think one of the big reasons why is responsibility. I think that then again breaks when you talk about like big YouTubers, because if you think about the very biggest YouTubers on the platform, they don't necessarily have that much bigger response, or the very biggest streamers, I think, because this is what we're talking about here, they don't actually have much more responsibility than than a smaller streamer might, you know? But yet they'll be earning a whole bunch more. And so a lot of people question, like, so why is this guy earning $1 million a year, or why has he earned 35 million in his lifetime, or whatever the number is? It's not that relevant in my opinion. Why is this guy earning so much when he does what could be described as the same job as someone else? Should we go throwing our IF enders now? Yeah, I guess we should. Do I have enough sticks to buy the rest of the emeralds we need? I get... Oh, no, I don't quite. I need to chop that. Or actually, we'll see. We'll see. So I've got 7 more emeralds here, and I need just a few more than that. So we'll get them now. My responsibilities terrify me, to be honest, says Mike Bailey. Yeah, responsibility is what messes me up too. I've kind of tried to just say like, yeah, I'll let the responsibility goes where it goes. I used to be very, 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 very on the ball about like, okay, this is happening here, this is happening here, and then I tried spending some time not doing that, and it would be fine sometimes, but then we would just miss a bunch of days of uploading, and it's like highly stressful to make sure like, okay, I am going, you know. An interesting like example in terms of like I have they raised their prices even though I didn't buy all of the sticks. That's not very good of them. I'm not gonna name my own responsibility. Actually, I feel like because I work a job that might be broadly described as fake or a barista equivalent, maybe I shouldn't. But instead, I'll say like yeah, I think responsibility is like the most terrifying thing in the world. Because it's the thing, like, I think the ability to not have to worry and just be able to go along, thinking about whatever you want because someone else is making sure a good time is being had, is like a huge, huge privilege that society affords to some people. I think that it is, like, at the highest levels, what people really desire. Being wealthy is one thing, but being wealthy and not having to think about what's going on, just knowing it's all going to work out, is... That, you know, like, I think that's why it must be nice to have well-off parents. Because you know that if you for most people, as anyone else, I've mentioned this story a billion times, but, like, hitting 0 is a really, like, sobering experience. Hitting nothing left, knowing that if you needed to make a transaction you couldn't, is a sobering experience. Except it's probably not that sobering of an experience. Should we just buy 10 flint? Yeah, let's buy 10 flint and make a bunch of fletching tables. Yeah, why not? It's a silly idea, but let's do it anyway. I think it's a really sobering experience, but it's not actually going to be sobering if you know, like, well, if it really came to it, I could just ask anyone in my life for help and they would instantly provide it. Whereas for some people, or, you know, I wanted to use the wood specifically for a table. I should have done that. Your job entails getting some stress when pixel numbers are larger than you wanted, but then also all the other real-world stress. Yeah, it is my responsibility, chat. This is let's roll with that example. Let's roll with that analogy. It is my responsibility to beat Minecraft or try as hard as I reasonably can. I can't just say that a stream is roughly 2 hours, and so when we get 2 hours in, we are done. because, you know, it is my obligation to deliver on the title or thumbnail or the concept, the premise, whatever it is that brought you here. It is my responsibility and my job to deliver on that. And so whenever anything gets in the way of that, I can't just say, screw it. I'm gonna be like, yeah, let's go and do that thing. And that kind of sucks, right? That like really sucks, actually. Okay, so I've got enough Fletchers that I can now just trade all the emeralds they will let me, and that's 15 more, and that's everything I need. I've got way too many fletching tables for the demand I actually have, but it's fine. There we go, chat. 12 IFenders. Let's go beat the dragon now. Probably. I have roughly 350 a month of disposable income. That includes groceries and all that. I've been at 0 more than I'd like to admit. Yeah, I would say, you know, I think I could honestly make a comment then. Like, I think that also, this is such an interesting switch between these. I think that is a really, like is there a... I thought about this specifically too. When donations were first common on streams, like 5, 6, 7 years ago, when donations first became common and popular, or whatever else, so I'm going to grab those, I'm going to put this here, and we're going to go to sleep soon. When donations first became popular on streams, most streamers were people who had, you know, if they were lucky, they were people who had just quit a job to do this. But most streamers were actually like, you know, oh god, destroyed again. Most streamers were probably like people upstarting. So you're effectively funding someone's like lifestyle expense. And so as streamers at the top end especially have begun from being like, oh yeah, I make, you know, I make a little bit of money here. To, you know, now there are streamers who get paid $100 million over a 5-year deal or whatever. Then does your need, want, or propensity at least to tip change? And that kind of raises the question of like, do you tip as a form of wealth exchange, or do you tip because either you want to be recognized or or the other reason, which could be like you want to support the thing. I've always believed when I tip when I tip anything, it's like, yeah, I like this, I'm glad, I think it should keep existing. But like, you know, when I buy software that I like, it's like a mark of pride. But a lot of people say like, well, you're an idiot for buying things that you like. You're an idiot for supporting things that you like because you could just not. But I also think at the same time, also good evening everyone, says Dasher. Good evening, Dasher. You've not been here, so I'm totally lost. I have no coordinates and no idea where I'm going. You know, having no coordinates in life should be a synonym, I guess, for not knowing where you're going. I tip to fund lobster rolls. One of the reasons I tip is purely for attention. Yeah, that's a really interesting thing to me. It's like, is that a good thing? You know, effectively, is accepting people's tips in exchange for attention, you know, does that make sense? Also, I should have said anyone's fingers bored enough. Someone typed a brief synopsis. Okay, I don't wanna deal with that again, and now I don't have to. So I'm going this way, chat, and I don't want to throw another IFender, but I know I'm going to need to soon. Also, you also watched Charlie's ballsy revelation of his incomes? Yeah. I think it's an interesting insight as to like, are there some streamers who turn on the tip? You know, like, I guess it's one of the weird things. Like, when you sell a product, you don't really get to decide why people buy your product. You know, like, when Henry Ford decided to sell cars, in his mind, I don't know if he said this or if he believed this. I don't know if he just said this and didn't believe it, or if he really believed this as he was saying it. But he specifically was like, yeah, this is going to be a vehicle that allows for the average person to do so much more. But you don't get to say that your car can only be bought by average people. Your car will be bought by whoever buys it, and the societal progress that it causes or uncauses is out of your control. You sell or you don't sell the product. And so I kind of think it's interesting that some Twitch streamers are out there thinking, yeah, there's a bunch of people who have no money. You know, because if you think about the average person, and then you can see, like, the average person earns, say, X amount. I don't know the average salary where you are. I think in the US it's actually quite high. It's like $77,000 a year. But if you adjust for, like, age, you know, the average viewer might only earn $30,000 a year. And so are people picturing, like, you know, like some and for every average there are people below that average. Are there streamers out there? You know, was Mr. Charlie in this case someone who was like, yeah, there are people who get paid a tiny percentage, who get paid, have a little bit of disposable income, and then are choosing to give the majority of that away? Is it moral to sell a product if you believe that's what's happening? And, you know, if so, like, should you? It's a weird line. I swear the average is like 40K in the US. It gets really skewed about whether you're talking about per household or per person. Because I think people file taxes as a household in the US. I earn £0. Ah, there we go. That's the tax evasion we all know you for, Xavier. I like his honesty. Once you got more money than you can spend, why take more? There is an interesting thought about that too, though, right? That I think... Because, okay, this is where things get really interesting. So let's say you hit your magic number where everything that you could ever want is done for. I think a lot of people will lifestyle inflate themselves above it. But let's say that you say, yeah, I don't need any money after 30 million. So what should I do? Do you have an obligation to refer... So let's say your only goal is to get cars in the hands of people. And then you've done such a good job selling cars that you've made 50 million. You've paid all the people who help make those cars. So you've done your job. Now, also, should we tame our first Nautilus, chat? I think we should tame our first Nautilus. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, I don't have pufferfish. Never mind. Yeah, I think there's an interesting question of, like, do you have an obligation? There's like an obligation to do one of two things, right? One of those things could be massively lower the price of your product. In the case of being a streamer, you can lower the price of your product to free. The price of this stream is free for most people, right? Some people tip, some people become members. You know, memberships are really important to the channel for all sorts of reasons we mentioned before. But, like, the viewing of this stream is free, but also not actually quite free. You pay via an ad, or even if you don't... Did my boat just go missing, by the way? Huh, it did. You pay via an ad to watch the... Okay, so... Wow, still going this way, apparently. Don't break, don't break, don't break. You pay via an ad to watch this stream. And so, would it be immoral? If I earned 100 million... would it be immoral to then take extra money from you? Or, you know, even in the case of an ad, would it be moral to take an extra 20 cents of your time or some of your subscription revenue that could go to other creators? Some people would say yeah, but I also would argue, actually, if you've proven that you have a product that people are happy to pay for, some people like paying for the product. If these streams had no option to tip and no option to become a member... they would be less interesting in some ways, right? And there's also the, even more, at least to me more interestingly, I think there's the question of, like, you know, some people enjoy, like, outside of the fact that we do, like, streams where, like, I don't know, every tip does something, you couldn't do those streams, but some people do enjoy the act of being mentioned. And so how can you know, ration the product of, like, if you have 1 million viewers, which is how you make $100 million. If you have 1 million viewers, how do you make a system where people get mentioned? Do you make it a lottery instead? Because genuinely, a lottery is less fun than a product you can pay for. In a lot of people's minds and cases, right? Excluding member streams get paid in other people's time, which is very morbid when you get it. Excluding members streams get... Sorry, I don't understand your comment. I think you was missing a word, Mike Bailey. I wonder if people will try and pressure the big streamers to look at it the same way after his video. Yeah, I wonder about that too. I genuinely do. I wonder, is it a good thing for the ecosystem broadly? I hope it is. I really would like to believe that it is. Okay, so I'm going to guess that this village has the stronghold below it. I'm not going to throw another eye offender because I'll be boned if it goes poorly. So instead, we're just going to start digging straight down from here. Digging straight down is a poor idea if you don't have a bed. So I'll place a bed, and then I'll put my eyes offender in this chest here. And then I'll just come back up if I need to. I've got enough oak planks to make ladders. And if I die, it's still going to be fine. In fact, I'll just make a pickaxe. So we'll make a ton of ladders. That's great. And then I'll make a... Do I not have any iron? Oh, I've got... Okay, here's my iron. I'll make an iron pickaxe. And then I'll make another iron spear as well. Because, you know, I could do with another one of those. Let's go mining. I do feel once you hit a certain amount of wealth, you should try to redistribute any more that you get. It improves society. Yeah, no, so but then Pickled Witch, right? Is the best way... Let's say that your whole goal is to redistribute the money that would otherwise be coming into you. Do you actually... You know, okay, this is my take on how transactions should work. I think that a world works best when people make more transactions that they want to. Like, the dumbest thing, it took me so long to wrap my head around it, but a lot of people, it's common with one gender more than the other, but it's, a lot of people genuinely like spending, and they love going shopping. You ever heard the phrase retail therapy? Genuinely, a lot of people are just like, yes, spending money on myself makes me happy. If every single clothes store at the same time said, we've actually made enough money from selling clothes, we're just not going to sell those anymore, a lot of people would be worse off. But then there's also the question of, like, you know, if instead of saying we have enough money, we're not going to sell anything more, shouldn't you say we have a bunch of money, we're going to take people's money and then use it to do some charitable endeavor? Because if you, you know, if you believe that genuinely, like, redistributing wealth is the best way to do it, some number of people who will tip a $35 million stream, $35 million net worth streamer or whatever, some number of people who tip them will be worth more than him, or at least worth more than the average. Even if the average income is, say, 70,000, 50,000, 30,000, whatever number it is, if the average income is that, then there's a lot of people who watch a stream who have well above that. You always see weird examples of streamers who have, like, oh yeah, there's this one viewer from Dubai who has like 50 million and a penthouse with 700 pairs of shoes in it. I watched a YouTuber who had a viewer like that, and they went out there and they were just like, oh, that's interesting, I guess. Yes, greed is a sin. No, but like, genuinely, right, so if you wanted to redistribute money, not taking it isn't the best way to do that. In the same way that governments decide whenever they want to redistribute money, they could just lower taxes, but they don't decide to in general, because that would be, you know, like, you know, because we have progressive taxation systems, people who have more money pay more taxes, and therefore if you had, even though, you know, there's arguments that that's what you should do with budget surpluses, oh, hello friends, or whatever else, it's not the widely accepted or used orthodoxy. I'm going to get my copper torches out, and I'm going to start placing them. So yeah, the stronghold portal room should be anywhere around here. I hope I find it. If I don't, I will be sad. If it needs more than 12 eyes, I will also be sad. But let's hope that that doesn't happen. So if we could get enough iron all of a sudden, we could probably enchant some books and do some cool things. Charlie's reached a limit to how much money he would allow himself to take from the world. See, but my point is, like, you could... There's you taking less money from the world. You hitting that ceiling is bad economically and maybe bad socially, depending on what you do with it. Like, if he was going to take another 100 million in donations and use that 100 million to buy a super yacht for himself, I don't know, like, is that worthwhile? But if he takes money from people who would otherwise, like, do something that is not useful with it, like, saving is an interesting point, right? Like, saving money is something you can do that is, like, really seen as good and viable, but it's, like, worse for everyone else in a society. When you save money, if you spend money, like, if I spend £100 at the store now has £100. They pay their employees, whatever else. If I save £100, I've just taken that £100 out of circulation. If you can take money that exists in savings and turn it into something else, that's good. If you take money that would be spent and turn it into savings, that is bad. Is that what streamers with 35 million are doing? I genuinely don't know what their day-to-day life looks like. Yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting questions about how this should go. Also, Xavier says I've almost finished my law exams. Hey, congrats! If you see a silverfish, what are the chances it came from the spawner? Should you go in that direction? I could see it come out of the block that I just mined, but it is a good point that I should be thinking about, if nothing else. Also, there's... oh, nothing through here. Also, aren't these torches pretty, chat? Yes, they are. Also, S-pair, says Tucked Boss. Yeah, it's a very, very S-pairy pair over here, that's for sure. Okay, I am desperately looking for where I came into this place, chat. Okay, it was up here somewhere. I remember placing that torch. And that means I came from here, presumably. I think I might need an ender pearl, so I should probably stab this guy. Yeah, let's do it. Oh! Let's do this, chat. He's going to run all the way around, and then he's going to be gone. Yep, he is. Oh, I'd invest in other promising streamers and creatives. Lift up some people. Yeah, well, there's an interesting thing, right? If you invest and you do it under favorable terms, arguably, and this is very much arguable. Oh, is the portal going to be down here instead, maybe? I think it might be. No, this is somewhere I've been. Am I going to get that ender pearl? Yes, I am. Chat, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want to see. It's the last... if the portal does require 12 eyes, I've now got all of them that I need. So we've got the perfect stronghold situation. We just need the perfect end portal room. Can we find the perfect end portal room? Poke him full of holes. Yeah, I think there's a really big struggle about, like, what is your... like... I guess think about it this way, right? I'll tell you how I've always thought about it. The people, when we think about rich people, we do it from, or like literal, not rich people, billionaire level, right? Like the Elon Musks, the Bill Gates, the Jeff Bezoses of the world. In fact, I think Jeff Bezos is the most interesting one because everyone uses Amazon, whereas also that was really weird. Do you see what happened there? I don't know how to describe that. But it was weird. Also, congrats on hitting 3,000 days on your long-term world, Mike Bailey. I'm happy for your milestone. Like, I think there are a bunch of people who earned more money than they could ever spend in a lifetime and are choosing to earn more. And it's a lot of people. I think the instinct for most people is to say, well, like that's greedy, right? At some point, you should say, I don't need any more money. But I've kind of also held the belief that I think it would be bad for the world if people who currently are earning money and doing a job stop doing the job and earning money and start enjoying their super yachts instead. Is that a crazy opinion of me to have, chat? That like, I think there's a bunch of people who could have a job with way less responsibility, way less stress, and have way more fun. You know, you could stop being Jeff Bezos and just start running a Twitch channel instead. You could stop making logistics your business of how to get things around quicker and just start, you know, making your favorite movies into TV shows for your streaming service or whatever else it is you want to do. I think that there's definitely like a level of like borderline mental illness that goes into people who have 400 billion and then decide they want to make another 100 billion or whatever it is. But at the same time, isn't it kind of like, I think one of the problems that people have in, like, day-to-day jobs is that there's a certain amount of money. We all have that number in our head where we would stop working or work substantially less. And so we all understand, economically speaking, that at some point, if we all got rich enough, we would all become poor. Because if everyone had a large amount of money, we would all stop working, and so we would all be worse off. If we all magically had $100 million and all quit our jobs, then no one would be there to do the jobs for the things that we want. You know, be that being a waiter at a restaurant or being a, worker, someone who loads the shelves at the store that you get food from. And so I think that there's a really interesting thought about, like, Dolly Parton's a good example of ethical rich. She stopped herself becoming a billionaire by donating to a lot of charities. See, have found the stronghold. But I think about it like, in like a kind of dangerous way, maybe you could even say. Because you could do this for yourself forever. But wouldn't it be better to, like, right now, if Jeff Bezos, I don't know how much he's worth. Let's say it's 200 billion. If Jeff Bezos stopped himself becoming a millionaire by donating his money, and so spent hundreds of millions on charities, he actually would be in a worse situation to help the world than he is right now. Not just because he owns a large amount of Amazon, which could probably do some good. Like, if he wanted to put the logistics benefit of Amazon to go heal the rainforest or whatever, he could choose to do that if he wanted to. But I also think, like, even if you just think that money is the thing that defines how much good you are doing for a charity, if he gave if he liquidated his entire Amazon shares, gave it to charity, and gave them $200 billion, that could, like, that could do some serious, like, changes to the world now that you couldn't do if you prevented yourself becoming a billionaire, right? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, because charities don't invest money, they spend it on where it is needed. By investing money and getting more money, you can help a charity more than they would necessarily help themselves. You get addicted to having money, and the more you have, the less it's going to feel like. So then, FinCraft's, that's where I'm getting at. Isn't the interesting question in there at some point? Like, why has that not affected some streamers? There clearly are some streamers who you can just look at. You can see from the way that they act and react. Like, oh yeah, this is someone who clearly believes that they need more money and will continue needing more money for the rest of time. But then why is it that some people don't get that addiction to money? Also, this is so noisy. Realistically, bro could not do that. If he tried to sell it, the value would go down so much, says that stupid juice. Yeah, it's something, I think it's something a lot of people don't think about, but it's basically true, right? If the founder exits a company, you assume something bad is happening. And even if you don't assume something's bad happening, you're flooding the market with something, basically, right? Charity isn't as good at delivering services as states. Billionaires should just be taxed. Oh, whoa. That is a hugely interesting and controversial point, I would like to say, Sam. I think a lot. Also, no, I lost it. I love your takes. There are always points of views you bring up that I haven't considered. Thank you, Kit Kat. I genuinely, I know this is like a rare thing, but I genuinely like to, like, I don't know. There's so many ways that you can simplify the world into good and bad to help you understand it, that actually start to, like, fall apart when you look at it that way. Like, I don't know, like, even like, who is best in a position to help, who is best in a position to, like, deliver services? Well, like, if you look at how certain governments have handled certain things, it's like, yeah, for 100 years they've had the goal of eliminating poverty, and how much poverty has been eliminated. And it's like, well, this is not a very effective department of poverty elimination at that point, is it? Also, where was my stronghold? Where was my portal chat? I've lost it. It was my responsibility to beat Minecraft today, and if I can't find the portal, I can't do it. I'm just gonna go watch my stream back. And I'm gonna find the coordinates that way. This is why you should stream every moment of gameplay that you play, chat. Okay, so we go over here. We full screen. Okay, so zoom, 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 zoom. I'm just watching my own stream. There's a giant thing in the corner. Shouldn't be there. My bad. Okay, I've gone way too far back. Was it 4 minutes ago? Stop. Okay. So it was before I went up. Okay, so the coordinates are... Damn it, chat. I can't... Okay, I have no idea. I have no idea where my portal is. Oh, Dasher's got it. I was coordinateless without you, Dasher. And now I am good. So it's 1445, 2400. So it's this way, and then it's... Wait, it's this way. And then it's like through here. So if I just mine into this staircase, I should find it. Right? No, wait, 1445. So if I mine this way a bit more now. I'm gonna get there, chat. We are both fellow cats. The issue of that is you have to have morally sound government, which apparently is a rarity. I think there's a really interesting view of, like, when you have, like, I think one of the things that government encourages people to do, like, an interesting case of this, right, is whenever, also, I think I've gone too far. We need to go a little bit, minus 17, 2400. So this way, and then this way, and we go up a few blocks. Chat, I'm gonna find it any second now. There we go. I'm in the stronghold room. Okay. So now I have to replace down my bed. I didn't bring my bed with me, so hopefully I can remember this. Hopefully we just don't die. How about that as a strategy, chat? Oh yeah, I'm ready to go end portaling. So this is a really, really risky endeavor. I've got my iron spear. Will it be enough to kill the dragon with? Okay. Let's find out. So I'll place my water up there. And I'll just leave it there, honestly. Actually, I might need it to protect myself later. So I'll just drop a bunch of blocks down. And then I'm going to place some redstone. This is my genius move, chat. If I place a bunch of redstone on the ground, then it will look red, and the dragon will be like, whoa, guess you've hurt a lot of dragons before in your time. Hope you don't hurt me. Oh, she's so loud! What is Minecraft's problem? Okay, so we don't know how to generally mute Minecraft, so we'll just turn the global volume down to like 2%. There we go. Isn't that nice, chat? Oh, it's still so loud. It's so loud. No one in the audio department at Minecraft has ever played Minecraft to completion. That is just the fact. Yeah, it is kind of fascinating sometimes. Okay, a trail of blood from your shattered eardrums. Yeah. Yeah, there's a really interesting thought about, like, I don't give money to... whenever I see a homeless person, my instinct is I should give to a homeless charity. And then I realized that actually, as a city government, we have, like, shelters set up specifically for this. And there's an app that you can download to, like, send someone to the right place. And I'm like, well, if there's an app and we've got a service set up, it must be good enough. Therefore, we're fine. There's, like, an instinct to believe that if something is being done by a government, it must be so good that you don't need to worry about it. Also, the spear is really not good for this right here. Okay. Oh, no, no! Okay, I'm gonna charge him. I'm gonna charge him, chat. Yeah, look at this. Oh, you can continuously poke him. Oh, this is great. Okay, so I need to eat, like, right now. And then I need to not get into any danger for a while. Okay, don't kill me, dragon. Don't kill me, dragon. I'm asking nicely. So with Bedrock healing, the dragon fight is an absolute nightmare. Genuinely, I'm just going to die if she comes in and attacks me again. There's just no way around it. You can run out of this, but it's not going to help me much either. Yeah, I'm just at the mercy of... Oh, she kills me. She's killing me. She didn't kill me. I'm very lucky. Ooh. She's been very aggressive today, let me tell you. Don't look at me. Ouch. Dead. I did say I was gonna die. So, I want to know if I will survive this fall. I think I should because of the ladders, but I guess we'll find... Oh no, I broke the bed, chat! I shouldn't have done that, but it's fine. It's entirely fine. In fairness, I think Chantel's the coordinate better before I start doing it. I can't remember. I've delivered coordinates for so long that I don't even remember anymore. If the government was really good at it, there wouldn't be any charities. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Like, I feel like there's this instinct to continue contributing to charities, whereas when you believe there is a problem that with something governmental, you're like, you either don't do anything about it, or you just assume like, well, let's raise that, let's send more money their way. Which means charities become not organizations that want to do more public good, but organizations that want to capture more public funding. I think there's like such an interesting... I think having both governments and charities solve the same sorts of problems causes so many issues in its own right. But that's like a deeper problem than I think. I think it's a deeper problem than I'm qualified to talk about. I mean, I'm a Minecraft YouTuber. Am I qualified to talk about anything that isn't how good spears are? Anyway, so what texture pack are you using and what spear mods is this? The preview, I don't give money to homeless people that much because most people are homeless, have an addiction to something, says Cool Quizzes. Okay, so I think we tell ourselves that homeless people have an addiction to something as a way to relieve the guilt of us not giving them money. But at the same time, I also believe that most homeless people that you see begging for money are addicted to something. And that is me... and that is me admitting there is a fallacy and then praying, falling for it right myself. I will concede the problem in saying that statement. But what I actually think is the issue, right, is that begging or what is it actually called? Panhandling. I think that asking for asking for donations from the general public with your selling point being sympathy, with the product you're providing being that, is a really easy gateway to, it's like Uber Eats. Uber Eats is the perfect job, so I have to use my spear chat quickly. Oh no, get my spear out. Uber Eats is a really good job because you don't, there's like no setup required. There's very little responsibility. You're responsible for one bag of food at a time. You set your own hours, etc., all the other nonsense like that. Okay, so I'm going to use the charge attack, and I'm just going to keep jumping, chat. This is so fun. I'm charging the dragon to death. I've always wanted to joust the dragon, and now I've finally got it. But yeah, I think we should just, like... I think this is, like, a really painful thing to say, but I think we should say, like, yeah, panhandling is a job. You are providing people a service where they can give $5 and feel really good about themselves. And that shouldn't be shameful to say, but I think it really is. But you're providing a service, like it, because if you think about it, if you were on the street and you said specifically, don't give me money, give money to a charity. If I went on the street and I guess actually you do get like charity beggars doing something like that sometimes, but you wouldn't feel as good doing something nice if you don't feel like you got someone out of a really tough spot, right? That is a thing that makes you feel like, yeah, I should give some money right here, right now, and I will enjoy giving money right here, right now. The spear is not a very good weapon, by the way, but it's not actually affecting my odds of defeating the dragon right now. I should still have brought a bow, but it would go against my spear-only mentality. Okay, let's go again. I'm charging the dragon, and it's so satisfying. This is actually faster than jabbing, too. Buying them some food and water is nice, but all of them want water or food. Even if they want food, what if they have specific dietary... I mean, like, okay, I'm not going to go into this too much, because I think it's, like, such a deep and confusing issue. But, like... If you buy... Okay, so Layer 1 says you should buy them some food or some water or something they, like, need to survive rather than money. Because money they might, you know, use to fund some sort of habit. And a lot of people would say, like, no, actually. People deserve to have, you know, be able to pick what they spend food on themselves. Or some people even say, like, no, actually. If people spend it on, you know, like, or people want to spend it on drugs, that should be their choice. I'm not their dad. I don't get to decide what they spend money on. Which is like a, you know, totally valid point. Like, you wouldn't expect any other money that you get given by anyone to come with a condition that it has to be spent a certain way. Like when you get money as a Christmas present or whatever, there's no stipulation this has to be spent on something fun. You could spend it on bills if you wanted to. But it is kind of like politely implied that you do what the person who gives you money wants you to do with it. But if they really wanted to give you something specific instead of money, they would give you something specific instead of money. I was homeless for about 8 months. I never once begged for money. How did you get money then, Holly E? This has come up a few times. I'd love to... I didn't know there was no begging involved. But I would be absolutely fascinated to learn the situation there. Yeah, I had a homeless guy in Chicago once. He got me when I was outside a store, and he was like, "Can you give me some money?" I was like, "No." And he was like, "Oh, I see you got a bag of food there. Can I have something in it?" And he searched through my entire bag of food, and then went, "No, I don't want anything you have." Like, I think I had grapes, cookies, and like, you know, cheese and a Slim Jim or something. And it was like, "Nah, none of that for me, please." Which I just think is like a funny interaction, first of all. But it is also an interesting... Like, I've heard of other people having that and actually getting a good interaction. And that's what I think makes the... I think that's what makes homelessness such an interesting problem, is that every single person is different. And so there are homeless people that fit every one of the descriptions we just mentioned. Some people are homeless to fund a habit. Some people genuinely really need it. Some people, you know, want a bit of money and, you know, would rather not use their support system. But I think what really lies at the bottom of all of it is like, yeah, if you had a really good support network, if you had, you know, parents and friends and family who all cared about you, someone who could trust that you could stay on their sofa without, you know, overdoing it, then I think that would be something good. Also, I don't think Toy Cat's current strategy can viably work. Why not, Bearded Man for 8319? I think you'll find it's working right now. Okay, so I'm going to eat bread again. And then I'm going to get myself out of here. I'm finally getting close to full health, which makes me feel good. I think I've got some leather in here, which I could use to make a helmet and awesome boots. In fact, put the boots on. Let's make a helmet. Let's get that extra. Oh, okay. Yeah, strategy's getting viable as heck right now. Okay, so I'm going to charge attack and then bounce some more. Yeah, it's working. It might not look like it's working, but it's working. Oh, my spear's getting... Oh, my spear's running out of energy. There we go. It's done. I think I'm going to have to make another spear at some point. I'm going to be emotionally prepared for that. Do I have copper in here? Yes, I do. Let's use it to make a copper spear in addition to the other ones. And then let's make a leather hat. The leather hat only gives me a half point of armor, but it's still worth having. There we go. We're back in, chat. I sheltered in a pavilion where I kept my belongings, but I had a weekend job as a chambermaid. I never told them I didn't have anywhere to live. Oh, yeah, okay, so... See, that's really interesting because I feel like, legitimately, most people, when they say the word homeless, they mean, you know, like beggars or panhandlers or, like, they mean visible homeless. When, like, I think that the much bigger problem... I think, like most things in life, we focus on what we can see because what we can see forces us to focus on it. But the much bigger problem is the thing we can't see, right? Like, everyone is focused on... you know, I think donations on stream are a really interesting thing because they are the much more noticeable thing. Every now and then, someone will tip like $100 on a stream. You know, this used to be a classic move from Darren Hughes, right? And some people will be like, "Wow, look at you, Toy Cat. You make $100 for 2 hours of work or whatever." But actually, it happens so infrequently that it's like. No, it's... Hey, we did it! We did it! I defeated the dragon! Spear-only Minecraft. This... Yeah, you know, just Mr... I forget his name. I'm looking for it right now. Bearded Man I got you good. I showed that you can, in fact, beat Minecraft using just a spear. Unenchanted, too. I was expecting to have to enchant it, honestly. But it worked just fine. Yeah, today's stream went much more off-topic than it usually does for a Minecraft playthrough. I enjoyed it a lot, though. And if you did, too, then you can consider subscribing. Nah, I'm just kidding. You're already subscribed if you're watching this. You paused the timer, so it's invalid. Oh, the timer paused. Oh. Well, run's invalidated. We didn't really beat Minecraft. GG. Rip. I guess we can... Okay, wait. If we... How do we stop it? There we go. We beat Minecraft in that amount of time. Wasn't it wonderful? We did it. Spear-only Minecraft. What I learned during this run, I think it's important to do a post-mortem right now. And to say, I only got here at the end. Mine's starting again. Okay, we're starting again, chat. Okay, we're going to make sure Cat pays attention this time. But yeah, I think to finish my... to kind of summarize... The spear is actually a pretty good weapon in really niche use cases. Hey, Sophie Hawkins! Thank you for the Toy Cat tax. But, if Sophie Hawkins has a lower net worth than me, was that a wealth transfer from the poor to the rich? Think about that, right? Is Sophie Hawkins helping me get to my magic number where I stop working and start exclusively doing YouTube? Is that something that I should feel bad about, or is that something that's good in its own way? Anyway, but the roundup of the spear thoughts would be, it's actually a really decent weapon in its own way, except for the fact that it has this huge delay. Like, I think using it with a shield is a really niche but useful combo against melee enemies only. Melee enemies, spear shield, great. I think it's really great against mobs that are annoying and that usually attack you, just to poke them away from you again and again and again. I think that you make a spear with knockback and you do some incredible things. But when it comes to defeating the dragon, unless they keep this little charge bug, even then actually, I don't think it'd be worthwhile. I think defeating the dragon, not very good. I think defeating Enderman, it's fine. Defeating Blazes, my god, was this a bad weapon. And against magma cubes, against ghasts, against most enemies I faced today, it was a downside, even against pigs. It was a downside and not an upside. And so for PvE, I would say the spear, it's not for me. But I think it'd be a cool weapon to have alongside a sword. Anyway, with that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to like this video and consider becoming a channel member if you want to participate in the great wealth transfer of our generation. But more seriously, to see all sorts of member-only content, which I exist and which I create for the purpose of, creating a more sustainable revenue source, or that I create for the sole purpose of draining the normies so that one day I can go, live a world where I don't feel like I have to work. But anyway, with that said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Have a great day, and I'll see you